The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore! We are Detroit!
Pick a sleeper district. I really believe, and this is not my bias, but I think you get a district you look at with Romeo, Clarkston, and Lapeer coming out of the same district. Whoever comes out of that is going to be a formidable foe for someone to try to knock off.
Romeo Bulldogs emerge from that district of doom, knocking off defending champion Clarkston and top-seeded Lapeer. They arrive today at Ford Field for the first time in school history. Awaiting them, a school with plenty of history in downtown Detroit. The 2011-2012 Division I champions made the short walk from Cass Tech High School, looking to add another trophy to their collection. The MHSAA football finals are presented to you by Arby's. It's the Division I state championship game between the Technicians of Detroit Cass Tech and the Bulldogs of Romeo. Welcome inside Ford Field, everyone, along with the peerless prognosticator Rob Rubik. I'm Dan Dickerson. This is fun. These are the big boys, Rob, and this is an interesting matchup in so many ways, not the least of which Romeo is here for the first time and a very tough schedule to get here.
Well, they did. They had a tough track to get to Ford Field, and they were up to the challenge, especially in the Snow Bowl last week where they took care of Grand Ledge, but Cass Tech seems to be getting a lot of momentum. They're playing extremely well, coming to what they call basically their home field.
Romeo has a lot of threats offensively. They score a lot of points. The guy that you're focused on is a guy who can run the ball, catches the ball, Brad Tanner.
I've had a chance to watch Brad Tanner over the past 3 weeks. In each of these games, he's made 3 plays that totally determine the outcome of the game. And the snow didn't slow him down. As you can see, an outstanding one-handed catch. But he also is going to run the ball out of their double wing set. Really good footing. He is a playmaker. He had an interception in a game I watched. He had a long kickoff return in a game I watched that just really tips the scales in the favor of the Bulldogs.
Paul Hurley is the quarterback who makes that offense go for the Bulldogs. This game today, Rob, has one of the most fascinating matchups I've ever seen in all these years of doing high school football. The defensive line for Romeo, small, quick, matched up against a Cass Tech line that is enormous and talented.
It's like the Cass Tech line has an 8th grader on their back as they outweigh the Romeo front by that much. This is the classic David and Goliath. And here's a look at Goliath, Reed and Aitman, Clemens, Martin, and then you look at Michael Owenu. This is an offensive line that is perfect for Thomas Wiltshire because you're playing a sophomore quarterback in Aaron Jackson because Rodney Hall got injured. Well, what security can you offer a young man right there? 316 pounds, the biggest team in the state of Michigan across the front. And then Tim Cheatham and Donovan Johnson are going to benefit in the running back. And then you got Donovan Peoples-Jones down the field. So Romeo's going to have their hands full.
The biggest division. There's a lot of talented players. All that talent's going to be on display here today in the Division I state championship game. Cass Tech trying to win their 3rd in the last 5 years. Romeo has never been here looking for championship number 1. It's the Division I state championship game, and we've got the kickoff coming up next. And how'd they get on?
Oh, what did I do with my glasses, Charles?
Nice. On headset. Check, check.
Hang on, I get my glasses.
Could you grab me a water? Thanks.
Here's your anthem, bud.
Inside their huddle or locker room? Huddle.
Gentlemen, welcome. Listen carefully. I'm going to give you my secret recipe how to become a state champion. Number one, you need commitment, and that commitment doesn't start today. It should have started at the end of last season. In the weight room, in 7-on-7s, in agility drills. You have to be committed as, yeah, coach.
Hey, when they're on that odd front, bringing that six-man pressure from the weak side, how are you going to pick that up?
What do you say, just block them better? How about that? Try that for a change. All right, second thing, intensity. You have to exude it so your players want to emulate what you're doing. They're going to get out there, practice hard every day like there's no tomorrow. Yeah, coach.
Coach, the option's been killing us all year. What should we do to stop it?
Just tackle better. You know, I mean, this is simple. All right, belief. You have to believe in your players, then they will believe in you. And if you get that belief, that type of trust, they will do anything for you. They will respond to what you want. Yeah, Coach Nowak, what do you need?
They're in an empty set running 4 verts.
Yeah.
How are we going to cover that?
Just have your guys cover them.
Cover
Try that.
2? Cover 4?
Yeah, whatever. You just have one for each guy. All right, moving on. Follow these simple instructions. You too can create a masterpiece. Look at this. State championship trophy. It's time. Let the big dogs eat. And Fox Sports Detroit.
Just keep it simple. That's the main thing, and these are the big dogs.
I'm still waiting for Hollywood to call, but I haven't received that call yet. But you know what? I give myself a grade. It was pretty good, but that man right there
Thomas
is great.
Wilford.
How about what he's done in the PSL out of Detroit? Be really making this an all-star team, so to speak.
It's his 19th year at Cass Tech. 2 titles already. We had a chance to listen in as the players huddled just moments ago.
Hey, everybody play as a team. Play as a team.
Hey, finish. It's all house, man. Hey, Sears, I love all y'all. Sears, I love all y'all. Do whatever it takes to win this game. Hey, bro. Hey, man. Do it for each other. All I'm asking is that y'all give it all. This is one last game. This is our last one. One more last game, man. Hey, to the clock. 0-0. Let's go, man. Let's go. Do this for Hey.
The technicians are ready. Albert Pace will kick it off. Cass Tech won the toss, elected to defer to receive in the second half, and we are underway in the Division I state championship game. Ball into the end zone, an automatic touchback, and the Bulldogs of Romeo, their first appearance in the state finals, will start at their own 20-yard line. Paul Hurley is their quarterback, the senior. His head coach, Jason Couch. They have co-coaches, Jason Couch, Kurt Reines. Couldn't say enough about this young man. I talked with Jason Couch, and he just loves the job that Paul Hurley has done with this offense this year.
If I was a defensive coordinator, I'd be a little concerned watching Paul. He reads the field very well. He looks off on his throws. He's mobile, and now that I know him, being the offensive guy coaching him, I think I've got the best one in the state.
Hurley will throw on first down. Ooh, they had the little screen set up. Lucas Shimon, the intended target, couldn't hang on, but that one could have gone for some yardage right off the bat. And you see the numbers there for Paul Hurley. He's thrown for almost 1,500 yards, 23 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Does stand out, because this is a defense that has some good corners, some lockdown corners with some very good defensive numbers. Romeo averages 37 points a game, 40 and 48 points in the last 2 games leading to the state finals. Man in motion, gets the ball. That's Brad Tanner. We highlighted in the open, and Brad Tanner, as the pads are cracking, gets a gain of about 6, setting up 3rd and 4. Take a look at the offensive line for the Bulldogs. Not quite as big as Cass Tech, but as Rob pointed out, nobody is. They've got some strong players across the front. The center, Ryan Truax, is really kind of the leader on that offensive line. The weapons in the backfield, Lucas Shimon, along with Brad Tanner. Those are the guys who are going to be getting a lot of chunks of the yardage today. Mitchell Heimbuck also is a guy to keep an eye on. Head coach, or co-coach, Jason Couch said they really are trying to target and find ways to get Mitchell Heimbuck listed as a tight end the ball more today. That's Tanner on the carry across the 30, gets the first down, hit from behind, but that pushes him forward to the 40-yard line. Big gain for Brad Tanner of 14 yards and a first down for the Bulldogs.
Oh, we highlighted Brad Tanner open for a reason. He is a playmaker. You're going to watch. Let's pause right here. Stop it right here. They're going to run the jet, and they're trying to stretch the defense, but on the zone jet play, he cut it up, let it go. He sees the defense over-committing, plants his foot, cuts it up. Well executed by Romeo. You're going to see a lot of this jet motion attacking the edge, but then if you start overreacting, you're going to see Flores inside along with Bongiorno.
700 yards on the ground for Tanner this year, 500 receiving. Carry this time is Shimon. Into the secondary, has some room to run across midfield, down near the 40-yard line. Big gain on first down for the Bulldogs before Donovan Johnson brings him down.
And I forgot to talk about Lucas Shimon. He's going to be to your right. This is a little counter. The motion goes to the right. Nice job blocking inside. Look at number 58 doing an outstanding job. Ryan Truax sealing the defensive end and allowing Shimon some room up the middle.
17 yards on the carry. There's Ryan Truax, a center who leads this offensive line. Not your typical center at 6'4", 225 pounds, but he has done a heck of a job leading this offensive line this year. Back to throw is Hurley. Has time, left side, has a man. Across the 30-yard line, dragging tacklers, Mitch Heimbuck, the guy they wanted to get a little bit more into the offense this week, gains 15 yards on first down.
Well, they're going to line him up on the tight end on the right, and he's just going to run a little shallow drag across, let it go, and they're going to see the action of the jet goes right, and Hurley does a nice job just setting back, and Heimbaugh, this young man's heading to Western Michigan. He's a football player. He is the key to their defense. He's on offense now, but you're going to see there's 3 or 4 guys for Romeo that do play both ways because they're such playmakers.
Moving the ball steadily on their first drive from their own 20-yard line. Now across the 25-yard line down to the 20, that's Dominic Bongiorno as we took a look at the Cass Tech defense. Up front, they've got some size. Michael Onwenu, 365-pound nose tackle. Linebackers led by Tim Walton. He leads the team with 108 tackles. In that secondary, the lockdown corner, Donovan Johnson. Kalen Kelly Powell also very strong in that secondary.
But this whole offense, Dan, is predicated on timing. That mesh point with the jet, the fullback, and the quarterback are all meshing. You have to play discipline defensively.
Now the carry is to Tanner. Running, gets to the edge on the left side, steps out of one tackle, cuts it back inside. Touchdown, Romeo! What a run from Brad Tanner to give the Bulldogs the early lead.
Well, once again, it's the jet. Let's stop it right here. Watch him, let it go. He's going to stretch it, get to the edge. And this young man, and my son told me, who played against him, he said, Dad, this kid can float. And he does. He's athletic, he makes moves, he has unbelievable vision, cutting back against the grain, and the Bulldogs take a bite out of the technicians early.
Float's a good word for it. Man, the vision was terrific. Zach Nyes for the extra point. It is up and it is good. Splits the uprights, a 20-yard touchdown run by Brad Tanner. Terrific run and the early lead for a team that has not been here in the state championship game before. Romeo with a 7-0 lead in the first.
Have fun after the game. Join us tonight at Applebee's for late night half price appetizers.
Let's go.
It's the official restaurant of the NHSAA.
That is one impressive opening drive for the Bulldogs of Romeo. Certainly not intimidated by the big stage on their first visit as they go 80 yards. And very impressive running by the guy we highlighted in the open. 7 plays, 80 yards, and Brad Tanner with a 20-yard touchdown run, making a great cut to get those final 10 yards and into the end zone. So the early score for the Bulldogs, and this game has the potential for being a high-scoring game. The Cass Tech technicians average almost 40 points a game. Bulldogs not far behind at 37 points a game. Donovan Johnson and Donovan Peoples-Jones back deep. And because they are so dangerous, a little squib kick. And not much on the return, but it will be good field position for the technicians on their first possession as Willie Reed, one of the upmen, fielded the squib kick from the Bulldogs. Here's a look at Aaron Jackson, one of the very best quarterbacks in the state, Rob, was Rodney Hall. He was injured a couple of weeks ago, and this young man, a sophomore, made his first start of his career. He's played a lot of quarterback at lower levels, first start on varsity, and in the snow. He had one heck of a game last week, leading Cass Tech to the finals, beating Canton 48-41. In the snow, Jackson was 4 for 5 for 205 yards. He's going to toss right side here, and he's got a man. Stepping out of a tackle and down the sideline is Marcel Paul, one of many weapons that Aaron Jackson can use on the wings. And we see the arm there from Jackson. It's impressive.
Well, when you got speed on the edge, all you want to do is get the ball out quickly, and Jackson does, finding Paul, and then let them be an athlete. And that's what Paul does, a nice spin move outside. And we talked about Brad Tanner's speed for Romeo. Cass Tech has about 3 or 4 Brad Tanners that can go the distance at any play.
Donovan Peoples-Jones is the one that everybody raves about. He's simply one of the top high school players in the country. He's number 9. He's on the far side, the left side. This one's going to go out of the backfield to Tim Cheatham. And good, quick closing by Anthony Quaz. Here is a comparison in the two lines. The offensive line for Cass Tech averages, as you can see, 316 pounds. So the Romeo defensive line per man is giving up 140 pounds, as you said, like carrying a middle schooler.
Yeah.
On your back. I mean, that I've never seen anything quite like that at the Division I level or any level for that matter, Rob. So watch that front line, the front 4 for the Bulldogs. Oh, breaking out of a tackle is Cheatham. He was stopped at the line, but he broke the tackle, and he gets a first down near the 30-yard line. Cade Messner made a saving tackle. Otherwise, that might have gone the distance.
Yeah. And teams that have watched Cass Tech over the years, you remember Mike Weber. Tim Cheatham does not have that type of top-end speed, but what he does have is unbelievable balance. He runs over his pins. He's tough to bring down with arm tackles. You got to square up and wrap, or he's going to just keep on rolling down the field.
Donovan Johnson will also get some carries out of the backfield. Quick toss, left side, that is Peoples-Jones. He'll be pushed out of bounds. Rob, quickly talk about, because the reason that the Bulldogs went with a quick, small defensive line is because one of their co-coaches, Jason Couch, was a center in college, and he said the guys who always gave me the most trouble were those small, quick guys.
Yeah, and these kids are tough. They work vertically up the field. They will spin. They're all little whirling dervishes. But if Cass Tech, with that size, if you can get on them, you can create some creases.
The fake, the give. A little bit of room as Cheatham spins out of one tackle, wrapped up after a gain of about 4. And that's enough for the first down across the 20-yard line. Cass Tech trying to answer the opening drive of the Bulldogs. It went 80 yards in 70 plays.
Oh, pretty good penetration, but as I said, this is a kid that you have to wrap. He has really good balance. Tried to spin move a couple times. There was able to pick up 3 or 4 yards. Pretty well defended by the Bulldogs, but
it really was.
You know, sometimes great players can make something out of nothing, and Tim Cheatham did on that one.
He made a very good, the leading tackler, as a matter of fact, for the Bulldogs, Mitch Heimbuch, miss when he had a clear shot at him, it looked like. Donovan Johnson gets the carry around left end, inside the 10-yard line, and right at the first down marker before Cade Messner rides him out of bounds. It will be a first down for the Technicians.
Well, let's take a look at it. This is going to be an outside zone play. All the linemen are just going to step and reach, let it go, and do a good job of creating space. And then you got speed on the edge. And when you with a little bit of a takedown on the edge, but Johnson able to use that speed. And Thomas Wiltshire, when we talked about Cheatham, he said, don't underestimate Johnson. This young man, Donovan Johnson, we've been using more and more, and he really has the big distance play type of speed.
He's averaged 10 yards a carry. He doesn't get as many carries as Cheatham, but 10 yards a carry on his 45 carries this year. Give his right side, and that's Cheatham. Cheatham's going to be wrapped up. Did not gain much on first down before Lucas Shimon, the senior safety, comes up to make the stop.
Well, once again, they're just running kind of a cross zone play. I'm not sure what you'd call that, where they fake to the one back going to the left, and to Cheatham coming back the other way. But Lucas Shimon, a good job staying home. They're walking him up a little bit. He's a safety, but they will cheat him up in certain formations. If they're going to play 3 deep, they will walk that safety up to the strength of the formation to help him get in a run game.
Technicians love to throw, but they moved it on the ground in the snow last weekend, and they're moving it on the ground early here today. Jackson looking for a man, throws incomplete to Peoples-Jones, but that's a short game. That will just get them inside the 5-yard line, setting up 3rd and goal from the 4.
Well, once again, they're just trying to run a little misdirection, crossing route, pulling the defense, but Romeo's in a zone, so it really doesn't hurt you defensively. Everyone's just staying in their zone. All the action happens in front of you, and then when you're in your zone, you just break on the ball. If Cass Tech gets Romeo in a man coverage, that could be a good play.
Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's at the top of your screen, split out wide left. 3 to the left and 1 to the right for quarterback Aaron Jackson, making just his 2nd start. He's going to keep it, and he's got nowhere to go. Mitch Heimbuck leading the attack and the gang tackling for the Bulldogs. And the Technicians now facing 4th down at the 5.
Well, interesting call here. They're going to just run the quarterback. I guess you call this almost like an inside veer where he's just going to follow, let it go. They're going to fake it to the fullback. And then he just tries to go up the middle, but very well read by Mitch Heimbuck. And I'm a little bit surprised by their formation with trips to the left. They had Marcel Pope isolated on the right. He was tight to the hash, which means he has a 1/3 of the field in single man-to-man coverage. And we saw what Pope did on the first play where he caught it.
Yeah.
That's a tough matchup. They're putting a lot of pressure on Brad Tanner. But as we saw Brad Tanner on the offensive side of the ball, they have a lot of confidence in him defensively as well.
So it was Cass Tech that took the timeout. They're facing 4th and goal outside the 5 now, and they are clearly going to go for it right here. This is a big play offense. The number of threats this team has with breakaway speed on both from the standpoint of the wide receivers as well as the guys in the backfield.
Yeah, but this is where Romeo definitely would like to be if you have to defend a 4th and 5. Yeah, because everything's in front of you. You don't have to worry about them running by you. Right. You're only defending 15 yards. You're 5 yards of the field and 10 yards of the end zone. So you can squat on stuff. You may see Romeo play a lot of zone, get maybe 8 people in coverage. But if that's being the case, you better have a spy on Aaron Jackson, the quarterback, because he can tuck it and run.
Head coach Thomas Wiltshire was very impressed with Aaron Jackson. He said, you know about a kid, you think he's got some leadership abilities, but he said the way he took control that first week of practice, he'd never started before, took control, clearly the team followed this young man, and he was very impressed with how he assumed that leadership role as a quarterback, making its first start in the semifinals of the state tournament. 19 years as the head coach for Thomas Wiltshire, averaging almost 10 wins a year in his 19 years, 8 years at Cass Tech, and 2 state championships. 4th and goal.
Watch right up here now. Let's keep an eye on Peoples-Jones. He's isolated on Brad Tanner.
That is up the middle, and into the end zone goes Donovan Johnson. Touchdown, Cass Tech.
I think Romeo got fooled like I got fooled. When I saw Peoples-Jones isolated to the top side, I'm thinking they're going to try to throw it up over the top. Instead, they just run what they've done down the field. It's just going to be an inside handoff right up the middle. Let's see, they get a good trap block. They block down. And Johnson makes the first defender miss, and he's able to get in the end zone. So that's a good play calling. Thomas Wiltshire and his staff, 4th and 5, the last couple run plays, you didn't have much success, but you don't give up on it. And a passing down, you run the ball, and you have success.
And Romeo was basically daring them to run right there, weren't they, with their defensive formation?
Yeah, they were loading up, but good job blocking by the big fellas.
Extra point is up, and just got by Mitch Heimbuck, who was flying through. Extra point is good. And Detroit Cass Tech has entered the opening drive of the Bulldogs of Romeo. We've got a tie game midway through the first. Back at Ford Field, head coach for Cass Tech, Thomas Wilcher, had an interesting description of this season. When I asked him how the season had gone, he said, well, it's been a frustrating season. He says, we always talk about the team concept, but for some reason this team just didn't buy into what he was preaching as head coach. And after a first-round win, a 39-7 first-round win over Warren Mott, he told his team, we are not practicing anymore until you guys buy into what I'm saying.
Wow.
And
That's
they had
the hammer down.
They had a 2-hour team meeting, came up with a mission statement, and he said in the end what came out of it was these guys now are playing much more as a team, much better communication, much less finger pointing, and much more accountability.
It's nice to hear for a change. Usually the coach says, oh yeah, we're all together, we're just all united. He's telling the truth.
He was absolutely a season of frustration, as good as they have been. Flags fly on the return as Andrew Smith returns it over the 30-yard line. Looks like this one will be backed up. Thomas Wilcher said there was a lot of good that came out of that. And you could see in that pregame as we looked into the huddle for Cass Tech how this team, in his view, has changed in recent weeks and a lot more accountability.
Yeah, that's, it's wise on his part to realize that as a head coach.
Block in the back on the return team. That'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Because coaches, you want to have a feel for what's going on, at whatever level. You say in the NFL, it's in the locker room and so forth. But at the high school level, when you don't have all these kids, they go to different classes. You don't spend as much time with them. Obviously, you get on the practice field, and things aren't what you think they should be. And for him to point that out to his team and for them to respond and react in a positive manner shows a lot of character.
And you can see him right there. I mean, the coaching that's going on constantly on the high school level, at every level. But you can tell that's the kind of coach that Thomas Wilcher is. Rolling right, Hurley. Look to throw, pulls it down. Oh, man, hit hard from behind. Lowering the boom was Tyron Young.
Well, they're looking to try to get the ball outside. They got a man coverage, man-to-man, but John Hubeck could not get open. Just Donovan Johnson was right with him, stride for stride, and they also leaked Brad Tanner in the flat. Nothing there, but the good news for Romeo is that Hurley was able to just kind of tuck and pick up a couple yards to keep you ahead of the sticks a little bit.
Completely retooled offense for Romeo, a team that had been known throughout the years that Jason Couch and Kurt Linus have been coaches as a throwing team. Carry this time for Brad Tanner. Changed it up so they could run the ball better. And Rob, you detailed some of the looks. There's a lot of different looks for defenses to adjust to over the course of a game for Romeo.
Yeah, and we're going to see a nice hit here. Obviously, someone at Cass Tech knew what was coming here and just coming up and really filling on that play. For Cass Tech was number 6, Tim Walton, the outstanding linebacker. But, even on that last play, you don't think there was a lot there. Brad Tanner was able to pick up about 6 yards. That put them in a very manageable 3rd and short. We haven't seen the fullback dive yet.
The give is to Tanner, and he's going to get the right edge. Can he get into the secondary? No, he's going to be hauled down, but he's got the first down up to the 35-yard line before Jalen Kelly Powell brings him down a gain of 10 on 3rd and 1.
And what Romeo's doing right now to this defense of Cass Tech, they're pulling it one way, they're pulling the other, they keep tugging it, and they're trying to get those defensive
tackles inside to start stepping wide. As soon as they do that, look for Humberto Flores up the middle, or maybe Bongiorno, the one back in the backfield. They haven't really tested the middle. I can understand why. There are no hummingbirds up front now. There's some big bodies.
Humberto Flores, who you mentioned, is one of the defensive linemen for the Bulldogs, and he'll also carry the ball. And it looks like he got the give right there, just a couple of yards on first down. Co-head coaches. There's Kurt Reines
in charge of the defense, and Coach Couch in charge of the offense. Both of them, since I've seen them last, I think they went to get their hair dyed. They must have made a bet that if we get to the state finals.
Somebody made a bet. Co-coaches since 2002 is a unique situation. It came about when the previous head coach left, and they had two good candidates and couldn't pick either one, and they were the ones who suggested being co-coaches. I think it's a situation that's unique in the state of Michigan. There might be others, but certainly that's the highest profile one. Carry this time is for Lucas Shimon, and there wasn't much there, setting up third down now.
And, you know, as well as that opening drive for the Bulldogs went, you wonder, when Cass Tech sees all the plays that this package offers, both jets going both ways, the handoff, the quarterback boot out, and so forth, once you see it a few times, it's a lot different than practicing against it, and you can adjust, and great teams and great athletes will figure it out. So Coach Couch will have his hands full just trying to keep Cass Tech off guard.
Hurley out of the gun has three wideouts on 3rd and 7. Has time, has a man underneath, and that man's got some running room. Nathan Gurowski across midfield, bangs his way out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Big gain on 3rd and long for the Bulldogs.
Well, he's going to be lined up in the slot, and he just runs a shallow route. Walton sees him, but he doesn't react quick enough out of his zone, and that's just a nice job of using underneath routes by Gurowski and using his speed. And Walton's, you know, he's seen it once now, and he was a little late. They're playing man down the field. The linebackers are playing zone. When he crosses your face, Tim Walton's got to pick him up and try to make a play.
That was a good catch. Perfect throw by Paul Hurley. Completed 70% of his passes this year. MHSA.TV will have live streaming coverage of the post-game press conference from this game. Plus, you're going to find highlights and an archive of all of the weekend's championship games. Get bonus coverage of the football finals at MHSAA.TV. So Romeo on the move again. Remember, the penalty on the return had them backed up deep in their own territory.
1st and 10 at the 35.
7th play of the drive for the Bulldogs. Tie game, late first quarter, whistle blows. False start for the Bulldogs will back them up 5.
Dead ball.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Kurt Reines, Jason Couch described this new offense as a hybrid wing T. And we've seen a lot of looks already. They say they can give defenses different looks throughout the game. And they're definitely planning on putting in a few wrinkles for this game specifically. First ever trip to the Division I Finals. Deep down the middle, has a man, complete at the 15, inside the 5, into the end zone, touchdown, Lucas Shimon! 40-yard touchdown strike for the Bulldogs.
Well, Romeo has Cass Tech thinking jet sweep, jet sweep, jet sweep, and now they're going to come out and start throwing the ball a little bit. And this is a much more balanced offense. Let's pause right here. You're going to let it go. You're going to see Shimon. He's right here. He's the lone receiver. He's in the slot, and he's just going to run right down inside the defender, get down the hash. Brad Tanner pulls it. They're playing the zone. They switch a little bit. Actually, Shimon was lined up even more inside. I couldn't get a number on the replay there, but a good job, good balance, and a well-thrown ball again by Hurley.
First contact was at the 15-yard line. Shimon was not going down, and he went right into the end zone as he kept the legs churning. Zach Nye's on for the extra point as these offenses go up and down the field. Nye's trying to add the extra point. and give the Bulldogs again a 7-point lead. And off to the right, and he missed it badly. So the missed extra point keeps it a 6-point lead for the Bulldogs, who have had 2 very good offensive drives to start the game.
Well, we're going to get a look right here. This is where Shimon is. He's lined up, and all he's going to do is run out here and run a seam. The motion of Brad Tanner coming is going to pull this guy right here and get him out of the way. So let it go. And Lucas Shimon gets released, and you cannot do that. That was DeAndre Square, number 10, released him. Just a miscommunication. That's a different look, a different formation. And the more different looks you give a defense, especially if you haven't shown these looks, it's a difficult task for kids at any level, especially at the high school level, to adjust on the fly. You catch, and if you're a man team, which Coach Wilcher said, they like to play a lot of man, sometimes there's some confusion when you get more than one receiver coming from one area.
Donovan Jones.
Look at the flow. Look at the hair. I'm jealous. I'm not going to lie.
Another 7-play drive. It was 7 plays, 80 yards on their first possession. 7 plays, 83 yards on this possession. The Donovans are back deep. Donovan Johnson, Donovan Jones.
You know, it's really impressive about that drive. They overcame 2 penalties on that drive, 15 yards, overcome it. And I said, this is a team that likes to line up in that double wing and run the ball. That's their first love. But they also have that balance. That's going to make them a tough defense today for Cass Tech because they can't throw it.
They're not going to kick it deep to the Donovans, but it's going to be good field position for Cass Tech. And the up man again. Well, it's Willie Reed again. This is interesting, Rob. They clearly are not interested at all in getting it to either Donovan Johnson or Donovan Peoples-Jones, and yet they're giving Cass Tech field position somewhere between the 40 and 50 on their first 2 possessions.
Well, Coach Couch and Coach Reines will tell you, we're not giving them 6 points, though. I had a Coach Jenick at Eastern one year. He said, we will not ever punt to Antonio Brown. He says, you know why? Because he's way better than everyone we have. And he said, why do I want to give him the ball in space? Why would I give him the ball in space?
Because he's better than any of us. First down for the Technicians on their 46. Quick toss left side, in and out of the hands of Donovan Peoples-Jones, and you're not going to see that probably again today. This is a very sure-handed receiver, an electric threat. 17 touchdowns through the air to Donovan Peoples-Jones this year, and over 1,000 yards receiving at the high school level. That always stands out. Second down. Aaron Jackson, it's worth repeating, a sophomore is making just his second start at quarterback. Up to the 50-yard line, and Sean Hodges getting the ball for the first time today, keeps the legs churning and gains about 6, setting up 3rd and 4 as the Technicians cross midfield again. The number of threats this team has. Hodges, Peoples-Jones, Marcel Paul, all can catch the ball. Tim Cheatham, Donovan Johnson in the backfield.
Well, Thomas Wilcher's made such an attractive program at Cass Tech, besides being a quality school. With the players he's pumping on, I think there's 5 at Michigan right now, and 3 of them are 3 of their best players. So it's very attractive with schools of choice for kids. Say, I want to go play, be well coached, go to a good school, get a good education. So he really has become the magnet in Detroit for quality football players.
Jackson, quick toss left side. Peoples-Jones steps out of 1 tackle, and he gets the first down across the 45-yard line. Chance for a big play, and it would have been short of a first down, but he made 1 tackler miss and picked up 7.
They come right back to Peoples-Jones after he had the drop. You have a great player. You don't want him sulking. You want him involved. They just run a slip screen where they take both inside receivers, they go out and block, and you bring the outside guy, Peoples-Jones, back inside. He gets underneath the blocks and tries to get the field. Romeo actually did a pretty good job of slowing down for a minimal gain.
First down at the Romeo 41 for Cass Tech. In the backfield, Bulldogs swarm on Tim Cheatham. And fortunate to get back to the line of scrimmage, Zach Nyes and Jacob Herndon.
And this is what this little defensive line can do. You think you can move them. You look at them on film, they're not very big, and you say, well, you run the ball, you get 4 yards, 5 yards. But pretty soon with that quickness, they get into gaps, they get into the backfield, they create negative plays.
Negative play there on first down, and we reach the end of the first quarter. Here at Ford Field, it's the Division I state championship game, and offenses are dominating early with big plays. No team has been stopped yet. Romeo has a 6-point lead.
The MHSAA football finals on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by the Michigan National Guard, proud to be the official armed services partner of the MHSAA, and by your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
And a happy holiday Thanksgiving weekend to all of you watching. You had a chance to have some time with friends and family this weekend, and if you went to the mall and braved the mall, hope you got out of the mall parking lot at some point during the day yesterday. Tech at the 41-yard line of Romeo. Each team has moved the ball extremely well in the first quarter. A missed extra point, and Romeo's lead is 6 as we start the second. Jackson in trouble, pulls it down, he'll run. Flag flies as he picks up 6 on first down. Dominic Bongiorno ended up bringing him down.
That's going to come back, Daniel, because that's a hold. When you see the jersey being stretched about 2 feet of the Romeo defender working up the field, it happened as Jackson tried to spin out of the pocket, and Romeo's defensive line was reacting.
Wow.
We get the call here, the official call.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Remains second down.
I'm sorry.
Again, to review, you see the jersey stretch a couple of feet.
That's never good.
That's always a sign.
That's a bad thing. You don't want to do that. We're going to get a look as he comes out. I think it's going to be right here. Let's keep an eye. Is it Flores that gets his yanked? You can see, oop, don't go there. And so that's a pretty easy call for the official.
But the technique was good. He did not let go.
Right. He hung on the whole time.
As long as you're going to hold, don't let him get free.
Well, you know what? I was never, if you get your quarterback killed, grab him.
Yeah.
We were taught, grab him. Don't let your quarterback get killed.
And your quarterback appreciated that.
Yeah. He says, no, I can throw it farther. We can get this plate. It's second and 25. I got, some high school All-Americans on outside here. I can get the ball to them.
Spot foul, so it ends up being an 11-yard penalty, setting up second and 21. 4 wideouts for the technicians. Jackson, quick toss right side, little wide receiver screen to Marcel Paul, but what a job defensively by Lucas Shimon as he comes up and delivers a hit and drives him back.
Well, you want to go to tackling school, and you're going to watch Lucas Shimon, because this is what the coaches are going to put up. You keep your feet underneath, you keep your head up square, and you wrap and you drive. Pick up and drive Lucas Shimon. a two-way player. We highlighted Brad Tanner, but they're really like 1A and 1B when you talk about diverse, versatile two-way players.
And Paul had a blocker out there, and it looked like he might be able to break one. And, of course, Lucas Shimon had other ideas. 3rd and long now for the technicians of Cass Tech.
A lot of pressure on the high side. Brad Tanner. Looks like they're going to give some help, maybe bracket over the top, but he's lined up with Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Peoples-Jones had 3 catches for 180 yards last week. Romeo bringing the heat. Ball's loose. Bulldogs have it. Austin Malcheski with the sack of Aaron Jackson, forcing the fumble, recovered the fumble, a loss of 12, and first down for Romeo in Cass Tech territory.
It looks like David just took the slingshot and threw the first stone. Mitch Heimbuck getting in from the linebacker position, but good coverage down the field. I'm not sure he had time even to let anything develop because the little guys got through quickly. And what a job by that Romeo defense. I tell you, Dan, they're not big in stature, but they are pesky. They will get in there. They will create negative plays with their quickness and their tenacity.
Humberto Flores, Jacob Herndon, Austin Malcheski in that front line with Joey Myers. He gave his right side and running room on the right side for Dominic Bongiorno. As he gets it across the 35-yard line before Tim Walton brings him down. Bongiorno's senior backfield, member of a backfield that has produced a lot of yardage this year. Lucas Shimon has kind of led the way, averaging 7 yards a carry, and Shimon will catch the ball out of the backfield as well. Gain of 8 on first down for Romeo, already with a 6-point lead, trying to add to it after the turnover. Give right up the middle. Bongiorno again, there's not much there, but he's right at the first down marker. Hope that was Flores on the carry that time.
You know, last week in the Snow Bowl against Grand Ledge, I talked to Coach Couch. He said he played Flores more than Bongiorno because he's smaller, shorter steps, a little bit better balance that he could adjust to the slippery surface. And that's why we saw more of Flores, and we're seeing quite a bit of him again here today.
Back to throw Hurley under pressure, moves left, makes the adjustment, throws to the end zone. Oh, just off the hands of Lucas Shimon. Terrific coverage by Cass Tech.
And how about a job of that secondary of Cass Tech, because that is a run play. This is 3rd and 1, you're thinking run. And they're going to leak him right down the middle of the field from the slot position. You see Shimon gets released, they do a little bit of a crossing route, but Jalen Kelly Powell stays with them. And the most impressive thing is they weren't fooled by the shot up top on 3rd and short. They were in position to make the play. Great job by the technicians in the back end.
Donnell Alexander on the coverage as well. 4th and 1 for the Bulldogs, already leading by 6. And timeout called by the Bulldogs. It looked like they were trying to get Cass Tech to jump.
The Cass Tech did jump, but they didn't jump into the neutral zone, so that's fine. You can move up front defensively as long as you don't enter the neutral zone.
So this won't change what Romeo is going to do from the 31-yard line. They're still going to go for it on 4th and 1.
This broadcast of this game is copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and Fox Sports Detroit. No reproduction, transmission, or other distribution of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the MHSAA and Fox Sports Detroit. I get my read and I stumble, Dan. That's why Chucky gives them to you all the time.
You can have that one every time.
Well, I thought I'd at least get a pre-read. He just handed it to me.
Chuck gave it to you cold?
Yeah, that's all right. I can step up again and do better. So this is a big play right now. If you're Romeo, Dan, I'm gonna put you in the offensive coordinator seat. What are you looking? What do you think you want to do? You want to attack that edge right now with the jet? Or?
I do.
I think so, and I like Brad Tanner. I think I'm getting 21. I mean, it's nice having two options. You have Tanner as well as Shimon. Both are very, very capable runners.
Halbeck is split out wide left.
But Tanner they go to Tanner to the wide side of the field.
Tanner's in the slot to the right, the bottom part of your screen. And timeout again. How about this? This time Cass Tech takes a timeout. Their second of this first half. Romeo on the move, facing a 4th and 1 with a 6-point lead early in the second quarter. Fourth and 1 for Romeo. Same offensive formation that they had when Cass Tech called timeout. Tanner gets it. He'll get the edge on the left side. First down and more. Inside the 20. Breaks free. Touchdown Bulldogs. 31-yard touchdown run for Romeo.
We're going to take a look here. You're going to see the jet. And we thought by the formation before the break that Cass Tech might move some more people. Let's stop it right here. They want to attack this edge. Cass Tech really is flanked a little bit because you're going to bring the motion and they're going to get to the edge with speed. And then look at the red shirts in front. Getting a body on a body, just disrupting, and then 21 can just go. I mean, this young man is fast. He gets to the end zone. He does a nice job, as we saw early in the game, too. He stretches it, and he doesn't dilly-dally. When there's a seam, he hits it.
No dilly-dally. Austin Melcheski threw a key block there.
Oh, they're chasing the point. A little bit surprised. I'm not a big fan of when you miss your extra point of
chasing it early.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Going for 2 here. Hurley, quick toss, right side, and not sure. It looked like intended for Tanner, but Tanner didn't even see the throw. Well out in front of him, so chasing the 2 points after the missed conversion, not successful. What an impressive run by Brad Tanner, though, on the 4th down.
And look at Shimon out front getting the block, doing a nice job. You see Humberto Flores also getting a body, and just not enough. I really thought when we saw Cass Tech take that timeout, Dan, that they're going to adjust their defense, because you could see, and we talked about that on the break, is they looked like they were weak to the wide side of the field, and you knew Brad Tanner was on the weak side. They're going to run jet to him. I thought they might walk someone out there to help get into that and not let him get running, because you let him get running, you let him get ahead of steam to that edge. He cuts so well, you're in trouble.
It didn't seem like they made any change in their defensive alignment. Take a look at the Romeo Bulldogs as we have a school profile of a team from the Mac White. It's really one of the smaller Division I schools.
Yes.
40 miles from Ford Field, and a guy named Kid Rock is one of their notable alums from Romeo. Now makes his home in the Clarkston area.
I was going to ask you, where for art thou Romeo, now we know.
4 plays, 40 yards, set up by the turnover. The great pressure that was brought by the Bulldogs front line, forcing the turnover, the fumble by the quarterback, Aaron Jackson. After 2 80-yard drives, a 40-yard drive, and now a 12-point lead. A little pooch punt this time instead of the squib, but again fielded by the technicians with one of the up men. Banging heads in there is Lee Davis. And he just had to gain a couple of tough yards, but again, Cass Tech is going to have good field position to start this drive. This is a calculated move by the Bulldogs.
Look at the big man. Big fella rumbling here. That's one of those, he's not like a full fridge like you see when you saw with the Bears, but it's like one of those ones you take to college. The ones that fit in your dorm room. It's a mini fridge.
He's listed as a tailback, too. 5'8", 210-pound linebacker slash tailback, and he enjoyed running the ball there. Trips to the near side for the technicians. Aaron Jackson will hand it off. Bulldogs swarming.
Hang on.
Donovan Johnson breaks out of a tackle. Nice run by Donovan Johnson. Looked like he was going to be stopped for a very short gain. He ended up getting 5.
This is just a young man, Dan. Look, we're going to look. It's going to be, once again, it's that outside zone. They're all going to stretch. And you got 3 blockers at the edge. Let it run. They're going to get body on a body. And Romeo does a good job of getting in the creases and getting gaps, just not making the tackle. You know, Zach Nyes came up there, and he had a chance to get him for little or no gain, but Johnson, you know, he's a good player. He can make the first guy miss, and that's the reason that he averages 10 yards a carry.
In the snow last week, he gained 145 yards, carries the ball again, and this time brought down for a loss.
Wow. Jacob Herndon. He ran that down, partner. He ran that down from behind. He got penetration. He never gave up on it, and this is what this pesky D front will do. You see Donovan Johnson, that's 44. That's a running back. Now, that's your defensive tackle. Now, granted, it's not a big defensive tackle, but still, 5'6", 185 pounds. They are relentless.
Humberto Flores, the nose tackle, is 5'7", 170 pounds.
I'll tell you, I got one of the best receivers in the country. I got to feed him here sooner or later.
3rd and long. Jackson looking, throwing right, trying to get it to Donovan Peoples-Jones. Threw it out of bounds, out of his reach. And Cass Tech now facing 4th and long.
Now this is a comeback. He's at the top of the screen. He's going to drive, but look, it never breaks the technique of Brad Tanner. Never opens up his hips. The reason being that was a zone. So Brad Tanner knows he can keep in front, he can keep back up. He might have some help on the high side, but he's not playing a tight man. And why would you play a tight man against Donovan Peoples-Jones? But Brad Tanner once again showed he can do it on both sides of the football. This Romeo defense doesn't get the credit for how fast they are. All 11 can run.
Tanner is deep. Albert Pace, the punter. Low, kind of a line drive. Tanner's going to let it bounce. And a favorable bounce for the technicians as the ball rolls down close to the 10-yard line. Romeo Bulldogs know about long drives. They've already had 2 80-yard drives. They will start at their own 13, leading by 12, approaching the midway point of the second quarter.
Official timeout. Ball down at the 13-yard line. From Tulip City and Motor City, we're there. Lake Trust Credit Union. Ranchers stretch across Michigan, so you'll find this no matter where you play. And we're excited to be here with the Michigan High School Athletic Association supporting all of our Michigan high school athletes. Good luck to all the teams in today's games.
Eight minutes to go, second quarter. Bulldogs of Romeo, first trip to the state finals. And very impressive so far. They've had the ball 3 times. They have scored 3 times. 2 long touchdown drives, and on first down, deep in their own territory, Lucas Chimon with a big carry for 6 yards. Get a little bit of breathing room before Edric Matthews, the big tackle, brings him down.
Oh, Timmy Walton and Otis Doss, the linebackers right now, their heads are spinning a little bit. I think they're going to figure this out, the motion. They really need to read the guards because most of the times the guard will take you to the ball. Romeo does not necessarily pull on all of their jet plays, but it's one of those things until you see it at game speed, Dan, it's a hard adjust.
A lot of looks for Cass Tech early, and Romeo has not been stopped so far. Tanner running right side. Big touchdown run on the last possession. And he's got enough here for a first down close to the 25-yard line before Kelly Powell and Tim Walton brings him down.
And this is going to come right at you. Once again, Brad Tanner, he's a very patient runner. You see right now, because they've got the edge a few times, a little bit of overcommitting of Cass with their defense. They're actually too fast right now. They just need to come under control a little bit, use the sidelines as your friend. If you're a linebacker or safety, push everything to the outside, Dan, and then squeeze it. They're just going so quick, they're overrunning it, and Tanner's cutting up underneath it.
This is an offense that demands a lot out of that offensive line. There's a lot of pulling. He says our guards especially run maybe as much as our backs. And we saw it on that play. Keeper this time for Hurley and Rule. He is thrown out of bounds. Physical play that time. Donnell Alexander, Paul Hurley, maybe one on first down. Bowlers had drives of 80 and 83 yards. Their last drive of 40 yards capped off on a 31-yard touchdown run from Tanner. Explosive, exciting player. Second and long. They'll split Hubeck out wide to the far side. Top of your screen.
You're starting to roll the safety a little bit wider there to adjust.
Tanner makes one man miss in the backfield, but the technicians will swarm. Maybe a yard. Zach Morton and Jalen Kelly Powell converge to make a stop.
I'm sorry for stomping on you, but they're starting. You didn't see him out this wide as this game went on, but now they're taking Jalen Kelly Powell and they're widening to give him a better opportunity to get up into the mix. You see how he snuck up in there. So if you're Romeo, you can counter that play with the counter. Where you're going to jet motion, you can fake it to Brad Tanner going wide, and you give to Lucas Shimon on the counter coming back.
You would think we're going to see that play soon, Rob.
Yes.
Third and long. Hurley can throw. Looking deep down the middle. Has a man! And the ball dropped by Mitch Heimbuck. A sure-handed tight end receiver. They wanted to get him the ball. He made a catch earlier, and he had some room to roam.
The tight end is just going to run a square in. Hurley, with a lot of times, he's able to step up in the pocket, deliver the ball, and you can't throw it any better.
And that's a sure-handed receiver.
And once again, you got to do a better job defensively in your coverages. Romeo's had guys. That should be a flag. They had too many men on the field.
Romeo brought their punt team on late, caused Cass Tech to have extra men on the field. This one is being brought back by Donovan Peoples-Jones. Is in the open field before he's finally brought down in the flag at the end of the play.
Well, they might have been doing a head count, because I don't know if they ran off the 11th guy and they played with 10, because if they didn't, the player from Cass Tech was about 5 yards from the sideline when the ball was snapped. So
let's see the call. There are two flags on the play.
Sideline warning. Cass Tech.
Wow.
So a 32-yard punt, 36-yard return, and no penalty. Cass Tech did not have too many.
Well, maybe they were running the 11th guy up thinking they had too many on the field.
You called it, I think.
And sometimes you think you have too many. Everyone's trying to get off, and they played with 10 and did all right with it. It actually backfired on the Bulldogs.
Cass Tech always wants to get in the hands of Donovan Peoples-Jones, and they did. Jackson throwing left side. Out of the backfield, Dwight Blakely, and coming up to make the hit is Mitch Heimbuck. Very little on first down. It's a big possession for Cass Tech, an explosive offense. So far, just the 7 points.
When they're working with a short field, they need to take advantage of it. They had the good return by Peoples-Jones. Now, as an offense, you've sputtered at times. You had the one good drive, but you need to capitalize on this, because if you let Romeo keep you out of the end zone here, that's going to be a huge lift as the clock winds under 5 minutes in the first half.
Aaron Jackson, the sophomore quarterback, doesn't throw a lot, but he has a good arm. Quick toss, right side. Inside the 10-yard line is Sean Hodges before he's brought down. Get it to your quick guys and let them run.
Little one-man screens. You're going to see inside Hodges. The other guys are just going to block, get a body on a body, let it go. Let me clear it, and that's all you want to do. You got two receivers, only two defenders out there, so that's a numbers game as offense coordinator that you like, and you can automatically just throw the quick kind of bubble screen outside you've already flanked them in the passing game.
Jackson read it quickly, got the ball to the right man. Give up the middle is to Cheatham, and he's got a couple of tough yards. This is 1st and goal with the ball right at the 10-yard line after the first down. 4 minutes to go. Cass Tech going no huddle. Play comes in from the sidelines. Thomas Wilcher, the head coach for Cass Tech, doesn't really have many concerns. Of course, you'd like to have Rodney Hall, one of the best quarterbacks in the state. He ran for 1,000, threw for 2,000, but he is very confident with this young sophomore, Aaron Jackson, running this offense.
And they ran Aaron Jackson in a similar situation on their scoring drive.
The fake to the man in motion to give to Cheatham. He bangs his way across the 5-yard line for a couple of tough yards. And that sets up 3rd and goal for Cass Tech, trailing by 12.
Well, they run the jet motion. They fake it, and they give it back inside to Cheatham, but good recognition. You see the linebackers filling. Flores there. Flores is a really interesting player to watch because not very big. You know, I don't know if they listen, Matt, but I think he's about 160 pounds. He plays in the defensive line, and he also runs the ball. And he's just a very diminutive type of player, but plays very big.
He's got 21 tackles for losses this year, Rob. A 5'6", 160-pound nose guard. Thomas Wilcher, you could see, wanted to talk things over with his young quarterback. So they used their last time out of the first half. Take a look at how these two teams got here. Cass Tech, wild win over Canton in the snow last week. Canton recovered a couple of onside kicks, actually had a shot at the end zone at the end of the game. Romeo, you talked about their district, beating Clarkson, the 2-time defending state champion, and then another team that's used to being in the finals, Detroit CC, Lapeer, right? Grand Ledge in the semifinals in a game that was actually a little bit closer than the final score.
Right, that was Murderers Row, and I look at that CC game, and I went to that game, and that was the score actually is not really indicative, but of how Romeo really dominated that game. CC had a kick return, and then had an 80-yard pass on a first down from their own 20, which was a great play call. But besides those two plays, I don't think Romeo punted in that game. They just went up and down the field, and Detroit Catholic Central had no answer for them.
It's worth repeating, 40 and 48 points the last 2 weeks for Romeo. You saw when we were looking at Brad Tanner, the snow they played in last week, and they still managed to score 48. 3rd and goal.
Now they crossed up Romeo in a similar situation, and they ran the ball on their previous scoring drive.
Jackson will keep. Try to take it in, stretches for the goal line, right at the goal line. Is he in?
I think his knee was down. The ball did stretch into the end zone, but his knee touched as he was trying to stretch the ball. So I think it's a pretty good job by the officials. We're going to look here. We're going to have a nice side shot. There's the ball fake. They run the little zone read with the keep out of it. Knees down, and then he stretches. I think that's a good call. I think his knee was down. I think we had another look at it.
It was very close.
This isn't the NFL, and I don't want it to be the NFL. I don't want to micromanage and break down every play to the millisecond. Just if it looks like his knee was down, it was down.
4th and goal. You can't picture much of anything other than straight ahead right here.
Well, that's why I like to be under center. I'm not a big fan of the shotgun in this situation.
They will give it, and fighting his way to the end zone, Donovan Johnson is in for Cass Tech.
Well, Mitch Heimbuck, I believe, or Lucas Shimon, I know it was 3 or 4, they hit him at Johnson at about the 1-yard line, and this young man was not going to be denied. Good penetration by Romeo. It's going to be Shimon, number 3. Heimbuck getting blocked, but Johnson really just finishing the drive. What great effort. 4th and goal, Cass Tech. Thomas Wilcher's team's able to convert. Crawl right back in with only 2 minutes remaining in the half, and this is not what Romeo likes. They're not a 2-minute type of offense team.
Right. They do have some big play weapons, though. It'll be interesting to see. They've got 2 timeouts and 2 minutes on the clock. Low line drive, and
Those may be
Oh, my goodness.
Those may be the two, I'm not making fun of the young man, but two of the poorest kicked extra points that were good. So I guess, no, they weren't poor, they were good kicks.
The two losses for Cass Tech this year were to yesterday's Division II champion, Detroit Martin Luther King. Tim Walton had a chance to talk about those two losses and how it perhaps motivated this Cass Tech Technicians team.
It prepares us to never underestimate a team. You know, to always play each game like it's your last. And whenever each team plays like their last, then all you can ask for is just a great game.
Tim Walton, the senior linebacker, leads this team with 108 tackles.
Sounds like Coach Wilcher's message got to Tim Walton, doesn't it, Dan?
It sure does.
That whole, he's got it right. You keep that perspective like that. I kept that for 7 years in the NFL, and I think that's why it lasted so long. Every time I got a paycheck on Monday, I'm like, I thought it was my last one, so I practiced like it was going to be my last.
That's that way.
Some people looking back wish it would have been my last, but got a couple coaches fired.
Oh, you weren't the only one. Cass Tech gets the extra point, leads by 5. 2 missed extra points for Romeo. Short kick this time. The bounce at the 20, fielded on one hop. Across the 25-yard line, Andrew Smith is stopped shy of the 25-yard line. So a minute 52, 2 timeouts. As you said, not necessarily a 2-minute type of offense, and yet, as we highlighted, Paul Hurley does have a good arm. He has moved the ball through the air this year.
Yeah, you're going to probe this defensive front in the sense that you're going to maybe try maybe a counter or a screen or something. And if you can pop a good game, maybe a plus 10 to 15 yard, then you might go into a hurry up. But you also, with the high-powered offense that you're facing at Cass Tech, you don't want to leave them any time in this clock if you don't have to.
They've gotten receivers free a couple of different times in this game. Won't be surprised to see them try to go back to Mitch Heimbuck, who dropped the pass on the last drive. In the backfield, the technicians swarm.
See, Cass Tech has burned all 3 of their timeouts. I think Coach Couch might realize we just get in the half here. Nothing, we don't want to turn the ball over. And there's a little bit of misdirection. Let it go. And it's just going to be the fake the jet, and then the second option is the fullback underneath. Now, in the second half, you're also going to see this guy right here, Paul Hurley. He can fake also to the jet, to the fullback, and he can run a boot or a waggle out of it in the passing game.
No gain, 2nd and 10 from the 25. Hurley trying to set up the screen, has a man across the 30-yard line. Lucas Shimon up near midfield before he's tripped. Oh, if he makes that man miss, he could have gone a long way. Donnell Alexander with a huge tackle after a gain of 21.
And there's that screen. There where you're kind of testing that defense. They're just going to take Shimon. He's going to be right to the here, and he's going to leak back across. Watch this. They're going to bring him on the other side. He starts out to the right, and it's kind of a throwback as he comes all the way back, gets the defense moving, and he's an outstanding runner as well. Now you get into your hurry up, Dan.
1 minute to go in the first half. Hurley again looking for that underneath screen, and he's got a man, but Mitchell Heimbuck is stopped after a very short gain. Still 2 timeouts left for Romeo. Gain of 4 on first down. They're going to burn one of those timeouts right here.
Well, once again, they come back with a screen. This is what you're going to call a slip screen, where they take the receiver on the outside, Shimon, and they bring him back and bring the line out, or actually Heimbuck. And we saw the other screen, Dan, where they kind of took Lucas Shimon, started like he's going right, and they brought him all the way back. Well, that time they split out Mitch Heimbuck, and they bring him back towards the offensive tackle, and the tackle and guard run out and block the guys chasing him. That's called a slip screen, and just if Mitch Heimbuck could have broken one more tackle, it might have been a big play, but Cass Tech, to their credit, showing good speed, good discipline, staying home.
We talked with Brad Tanner earlier about the special season for the Bulldogs. They've never been here before, and about when he knew this team really had a chance to be here today at Ford Field.
After being Dakota, I knew we had something special. We all knew that was going to be a tough game going in, and that was really going to like set the tone for the rest of our season. If we're just like another average Romeo team or above average, and beating them the way we did, it really just went to show how good of a team we were.
And it's been one heck of a season for the Romeo Bulldogs. They've had success under Jason Couch and Kurt Reines, the co-coaches, but never a season quite like this. 2nd and 7. Hurley back to throw. He's got a man wide open down the right sideline, across the 40-yard line before he's finally brought down. Ryan Medley moves the chains. The clock will stop. 1 timeout left for Romeo. Hurry up offense. Counting down toward 30 seconds left in the first half, and Romeo leading by 5. Hurley, pocket collapsing, will step up, but he's going to be brought down, and the final timeout, I'm sure, will be taken here by the Bulldogs as Edric Matthews, the fine defensive lineman. 24 tackles for losses this year. He's going to Toledo next year, brings him down.
You can see what this front Cass Tech can do, and they know you're going to try to spin the ball down the field. You let those big fellas know, and they can work up the field and just overpower the offensive lineman. That pocket collapsed pretty quickly on Paul Hurley, so that's why you can see in this drive the most effective play has been the screen play.
You can join the conversation on the football finals this weekend by sharing your photos on Instagram and Twitter using the hashtag MHSAAFB. Might see them on the broadcast or on FoxSportsDetroit.com. Make sure you follow us on Snapchat at FS Detroit all weekend long. So the clock will stop on the first down, Rob, with no timeouts left. You still have that ability to maybe throw one down the middle, and you could still either another screen or get Heimbach free, as he has been a couple of times today. You've still got that opportunity before you take the shot at the end zone.
Yeah, but what's going to hurt you right now is one of their best weapons here in the first half outside of Brad Tanner has been Lucas Shimon, number 3, and he's getting his shoulder looked at on the bench. So that takes one of your viable options out of play.
2nd and long. Oh! Hurley somehow escapes, running for his life, and he's going to get out of bounds right back to the line of scrimmage. It looked like he was going to be brought down for a loss of maybe 10. Edric Matthews again applying the pressure.
Well, we can just see the pressure coming. As you said, Matthews inside. Somehow Hurley gets out of it. He avoids square. Can't get him by the feet. He finally gets to the edge. He gets run down. You show the speed of Khalid Jordan running him down and forcing him out of bounds. Now with 3rd down and 10, with 14 seconds, no timeouts, you have to throw to the sticks. You have to get a first down, and you can hurry up and spike the ball if you want a field goal attempt.
3rd and 10 with 14 seconds to go and no timeouts from the Cass Tech 37. The Bulldogs leading by 5. The Division I state championship game.
Watch out here. They got Brad Tanner. A lot of faith in their secondary.
Whistle blows before the snap.
Prior to the snap, delay game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Put him in a 3rd and 15, Dan. But here's the problem right now. You got Brad Tanner, who's been your go-to guy as wide receiver, but Cass Tech's go-to defensive back is Donnell Alexander. This kid's a player. So you're rolling your dice at Thomas Wood. Say, okay, we'll take your best guy. We'll put our best cover guy on him, and let's just see how it shakes out. So Brad Tanner, if I'm a Brad Tanner right now, I'm taking this as a challenge. Oh, they're going to roll coverage over the top. Oh, they changed right here. They brought the safety over before the delay. There was no help over the top. Good coaching adjustment.
Try to get it to Tanner, does a little lateral after the catch, and down to the 25-yard line. The trickery is Nathan Goralski gets the fine flip from Brad Tanner.
Hook and ladder, old school. I tell you, that was an unbelievable play because this ball is thrown kind of low, and Tanner catches it and tosses it. I tell you, that is an unbelievable athletic play. You don't know how hard that is. Not only to catch a ball that's thrown that low, to catch it, not go down, and then make a perfect flip.
Perfect flip.
Now we might see a field goal attempt here. Instead, they're going to take a shot into the end zone. Because this will, with 8 seconds to go, they might try one more short out, possibly. But look at Cass Tech. The deepest guy is on the 12-yard line, 13-yard line. I think I'd have my guys back a little bit more.
are going to the end zone. Has a man and off the fingertips. As time runs out, John Hubeck, there were 3 men backing coverage for the technicians, and Hubeck just couldn't bring it in.
Well, Hubeck is going to be way up here. He's going to have working all the way across the field. Let it go because of the scramble. And Paul Hurley has about, I don't know, maybe a 2-foot window to put this ball, and he puts it in a 2-foot window. That's a situation. You just look at that, and I guarantee he's saying, I'd like to lay it out for that one maybe a little bit, but what a throw. What a half. Right. What an outstanding half of football, Dan.
Both of these teams, Paul Hurley there leading the way. Brad Tanner has had a terrific first half.
Making plays with his legs, just using his speed, using a good feel for the stretch play out of the jet motion. And if you don't, you can cut it up, and then the ability to cut back against the grain is an innate ability I don't think all running backs have. Some can do it, some can't. And right there, you can't coach that either. That's called speed.
That was on a 4th down play. Yeah. Big play. We both thought that he might get the ball on that play, and Cass Tech probably knew he was going to get the ball, and there was great blocking.
Well, you don't have to be a genius when you're highlighting Romeo to know who to highlight, because it starts and ends with 21.
Highly entertaining first half of football. Both offenses moving the ball extremely well up and down the field. Kurt Reines, one of the co-coaches for Romeo. Tell us your thoughts on this first half. Highly entertaining from our perspective. Your offense seemed to do a good job moving the ball.
Yeah, I think this is kind of what we expected coming out. A lot of excitement on both teams. You got 2 great teams here in the state finals. This is kind of the game that you expect.
Hey, Coach Rob Rubick here. A lot of faith defensively with Brad Tanner matching up outside with Donovan Peoples-Jones. So far, Brad seemed to be holding his own pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, Brad's an outstanding football player. If people don't know that yet, they haven't seen it. They'll know that.
Well, you're preaching to the choir. You know I'm the head of his fan club. I've watched him for a few weeks. He's just a playmaker.
Yes, he is. He's an outstanding football player.
Kurt, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kurt Reines, one of the co-coaches for Romeo. Halftime coming up. Man who made a big impact in this state, refereeing at the high school and college levels, Tony Payne, is remembered fondly by his friends. And Mickey York has the story when we come back.
The MHSAA Football Finals on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs.
Halftime of the Division I championship game, one of 2 touchdown runs for a very fine running back / wide receiver Brad Tanner, and Romeo with a 5-point lead over Cass Tech at halftime of Division I. Well, in addition to the 2 teams on the field today, there's another team between the lines very critical to the outcome of this game and every high school game, the officials. Beneath the whistle, underneath the stripes, beat some pretty big hearts and some lasting memories of one of their very own. And Mickey York has the story.
A cemetery is an unlikely place to start a high school football season, but for the past 10 years, it's become a mandatory stop for the friends of Robert Tony Payne. Payne was an MHSAA official for 23 years. The men he worked with and mentored get together before the start of every season to pay him their respects.
Had he not gotten sick, Tony would be in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
and there's no question. He was on that track. He was working NFL Europe when they had that, and he would be well into a very successful NFL officiating career if he hadn't gotten sick. So he was that good. The hole he left in our lives as friends is huge, but the hole he left in the officiating community was pretty significant too.
You never knew that he worked in the Big Ten. He wouldn't tell you about it. You know, you had to kind of drag it out of him. He was just one of those guys. And, you know, there's some egos in officiating a little bit, but Tony certainly didn't have one. Tony didn't have one of those.
In his 44 years, Payne left an indelible mark on his profession and a profound impact on his friends. Still sorely missed, getting together every August to tell old Tony stories replaces the loss with laughter.
Tony rarely drove to any of the games, and you didn't want Tony to drive because usually before you got to the first traffic light, Tony was asleep. And it was kind of funny because Bruce and I were at a practice and driving with a guy, and he did the same thing, and I looked right at him and we both kind of said, Tony. So it was kind of neat to remember Tony, you know, about a week and a half ago because there's a guy in the back seat snoring.
I was working a football game at Lansing Eastern one night, and they happened to be playing Everett. And as we walked out on the field, Tony said, "Hey, Mark, I really shouldn't be working this game." And I said, "Why not?" He said, "I have cousins out here." And I said, "On which team?" He said, "Both." I said, "You're good then." You got him on both, no one's going to cheat. But that's the kind of person Tony was. He was concerned about doing the right thing. He was concerned about family, his legacy, and he was a great friend. That's the thing that I still remember and miss most about Tony. His friendship and what he meant.
And because of that friendship, Payne's legacy lives on. Every year, his officiating friends from the MHSAA, Big Ten, and MAC get together to call the Tony Payne Game. Proceeds from that game and a golf outing honoring other fallen officials have helped establish a scholarship fund in Payne's name at Lansing Community College.
Been 10 years since he's been gone. It feels like he was with us yesterday. You know, we're all lucky enough to still be able to officiate and do this in his honor, and that's a big deal to us. We have a lot of fun when we're doing it, and usually we're telling stories about Tony. But it's also coming from the cemetery, it's a little emotional, and we all remember Tony every day in our own ways, but this is the one time that we get a chance to get together and do it as a family.
I'll be driving in my car and a Earth, Wind, and Fire song will come on and I'll think of Tony. So I don't need this game to remember him, but it does make, you know, it does focus your emotion on him today, and visiting the cemetery and all that stuff puts him, you know, puts all that in the forefront.
We tend to believe otherwise, but officials are human too.
Good game management right there, boys.
Keeping Tony Payne's legacy alive both on and off the field is worthy of words not uttered nearly enough. Good call, ref.
Halftime of the Division I championship game, Romeo leading by 5. Donovan Johnson with a touchdown run. Cass Tech will get the ball to start the second half. Halftime of the Division I state championship game, the Romeo marching band. Their team has played an outstanding half of football, as has Cass Tech for that match. Rob Rubik, halftime highlights are brought to you by Arby's, and we saw a lot of highlights in this first half. We knew that Brad Tanner was going to make an impact on this game. He didn't disappoint.
I may not be Mick McCabe, the son of Swami, but I can predict a few things, and my prediction is coming true. Number 21 can play football, and we're going to look at what he was able to accomplish in the first half for the Romeo Bulldogs. Brad Tanner is just so adept at running the jet sweep, and his cutback ability is, I said during the call, Dan, is an innate thing that not all players have. And then the burst to excel through a seam and create big plays, and then your quarterback can spin it too. Hurley, he finds Heimbach, Goralski as well, just getting the ball down the field. Had a couple drops, but was still able to find Lucas Shimon for this touchdown down the seam. But Cass Tech not to be outdone. Donovan Johnson has just run like a man the entire first half. And Aaron Jackson, the quarterback, to his credit, has run the read play pretty well. Johnson is finishing at the goal line with power and explosion. Tim Cheatham also doing a nice job out of the backfield. But I think Donovan Johnson, to me, has been the X factor. We knew Cheatham was a good back, but to have a two-headed monster at the running back position, as Thomas Wilcher has by using Donovan Johnson as well, man, that's a tough task for the Romeo defense.
How about the other Donovan? Donovan People-Jones, one of the better athletes in the country, been kind of quiet in the first half. How do you look at Cass Tech trying to get him into the offense in the second half?
Well, I've been around Peoples-Jones at a few games, and I know what a competitor he is. And I guarantee in that locker room, he's doing this to Thomas Wilcher, saying, Coach, remember me, number 9? You need to get me the ball because I'm pretty good. So look for them to try to involve Peoples-Jones more in the second half. But when you have so many weapons and only one football, it's a tough task.
We're looking forward to a lot of what we saw in the first half. In the second half of this game, a lot of offense, not many defensive stops, and a lot of talent on this field. Romeo leading by 5 at halftime. Stats are coming up next.
Catch all the action of this weekend's football finals on Fox Sports Detroit. 7 of this weekend's games live on Fox Sports Detroit Division 4 game Friday was streamlined live on FoxSportsDetroit.com and Fox Sports Go for your handheld device. All the games, by the way, will be replayed Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Fox Sports Detroit, your official home for MHSAA football and basketball championships. Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes will be recognized for excelling academically and in school activities through the MHSAA Scholar Athlete Award. This is underwritten by Farm Bureau Insurance. Applicants will be running for a total of $32 $1,000 college scholarships. Applications are closed for this year. Watch the MHSAA for the announcement of applicants, finalists, and scholarship recipients in the weeks ahead. This takes place and committed to keeping children.
Getting ready for the start of the third quarter here in the Division I state championship game. Cass Tech really just right around the corner. A lot of teams bust to this game, of course, but Cass Tech, they walk to this game. They're just about a half a mile away, and Tim Walton says it's a pretty neat thing when you walk with your teammates, family, and friends.
It's a tradition. The team before us who came here for the state championship, and actually it's not just for the state championships, whenever you come to Ford Field, it's always a tradition to walk here.
Time for our school profile, this time looking at Cass Tech. Very strong school, right in the neighborhood, not even a mile away from Ford Field. Some notable alums. Might have heard of Diana Ross, Lily Tomlin, terrific comedian Jack White, also from Cass Tech.
Well, if I had to walk from my high school, if we'd have made it to Ford Field, that'd have been about 330, 340 miles.
That's all. You would have done it, though.
It's taken me a month or so.
With a good pace.
Yeah. This time of year, you're moving fast because it's cold up north. It's a great motivator.
Cass Tech deferred. They won the toss in the first half, so they're going to get the ball in the second. And Rob, as you mentioned, repeatedly good field position for the technicians. They really didn't take advantage. They scored a couple of touchdowns, but the total offensive numbers weren't very impressive for Cass Tech in the first half.
I look for a couple of things. I think that's going to pick up. You're going to see Cass Tech get the ball to the perimeter a little bit more, try to get the ball vertically as well, get Peoples-Jones involved in this offense a little more, along with Marcel Paul. And if you can do that and stretch this Romeo defense and take some of the aggressiveness out of that front seven of Romeo, it will slow down the Bulldogs. And on the Romeo side, I think Cass Tech is starting to feel this little jet offense. You remember the double wing, they defended the runs a little bit better. And one of the keys is going to be, does Lucas Shimon come back and play in the second half? Remember, he was out on that last series with an injured shoulder. He's probably one of their top 3 or 4 players. He would be sorely missed.
See him down here on the sideline with a helmet on.
It's a good sign for the Bulldog fans.
And it looks like, he's ready to come out when needed. Albert Pace will kick it off, and it's a little squib, onside kick, and the Bulldogs think they've recovered, and they have! Onside kick, Zach Nyes, the kicker, the little squib, and he was on it. And the Bulldogs will go on offense to start the second half.
Why not do this? He's just going to dribble it right up in the middle, let it go, and he follows it. And there's a huge hole. You look at the huge hole with the Cass Tech defense, and why not onside kick it? If you don't get it, Cass Tech gets it at the 48. Well, they've taken out to the 45 or 40 every other time on a kick return anyway, so you might as well give yourself an opportunity to recover. And way to flip the field for the Bulldogs. You got a chance now with the 48-yard field that you afforded Cass Tech a few times in the first half. See what Romeo does with it.
Perfectly executed. It has to go 10, and as soon as it did, Zach Nyes was on it. First down for Romeo with a 5-point lead. We give on the cut back to Nathan Kowalski, sophomore in motion. Gets maybe a yard on first down.
Well, what's significant about that play, we'll get to the drive chart as well, is that Shimon was not in the game. We see him jogging onto the field as I speak, but the Bulldogs really were not stopped. Now that's not true, the punt, and then they got stopped by the time and at the end of the first half, but 3 touchdowns in the 3 opening drives.
before they were forced to punt the one time. But Shimon back in the game. A lot of happy Bulldog fans right now.
Outgained Cass Tech by almost 200 yards in the first half. Now Tanner carries, makes one man miss. Terrific move, and then he's thrown to the turf. Brad Tanner on his first carry of the second half leaped over Donnell Alexander and got right to that first down marker.
Well, Donnell Alexander is going to come up and do the old bowling pin tackle. Throw his body at the legs, and the athleticism of Brad Tanner enables him to pick up about 3 or 4 more yards. And that's why I'm a big proponent of wrapping up. Use your shoulder, bring your arms. Don't try to be the bowling ball knocking down the pins.
Doesn't usually work, and it didn't there. Right to the first down marker. They give him the first down. First down Bulldogs after recovering the onside kick to start the second half. Hurley under center. Tanner again, following his blocks, will be knocked out of bounds, but a good gain on first down. Going to get it close to the 30-yard line, a gain of 7 for Brad Tanner before Demetric Vance knocks him out.
You know, I'm a little concerned here about Cass Tech. Look at, they have everyone defensively right here. Well, that's okay if they run inside the tackles. When you start attacking that edge, you know, you're trying to run inside out a little bit too much. I think you're also making yourself a little bit susceptible to a possible play-action pass and getting someone behind you. They are so tight. Look at them all, 11 of them in the box.
Heimbach, Shimon had both broken free for pass routes. Now they're going to go to the air again, and he's got a man in Heimbach. Such a sure-handed receiver. Drops his second of the day. I'll bet the Bulldogs haven't seen that all year long.
Wow. Yeah, this is a sure-handed middle linebacker tight end, and he has Heimbach wide open, and he just turned the run too quickly.
I don't think Heimbach can quite believe it. Again, this is a guy that Coach Jason Couch said they wanted to make sure they targeted him more in this game. They've gotten him open twice for big gains, and he couldn't hang on to 2 really perfect throws.
And those are plays, if you're going to pull an upset, this will be a mild upset, I think, if Romeo wins the game, is you have to be able to execute.
Third down. Give right side, making the edge. Lucas Shimon back in the game, and he's got the
That's a flag. Yeah. That's a great call. You got to throw that.
After the contact, well out of bounds.
Well, you're going to see the hit wasn't as late as the follow-through. That was Jalen Kelly. Shimon is probably 5 yards out of the ball, and he gave him the farewell shove. You know, it's like see you later on the next play instead of just letting go. And this is the jet to Shimon. He's able to get to the edge, a little bit of frustration, I think, on Kelly's, but this is all good. But then he does the farewell shove, pushing after he's 6-8 yards out of bounds. You got to be a little bit more disciplined. That's, you know, high school officials, they don't put up with much. You have to be, you know what I'm saying, Dan? You have to be to the letter, because you need to teach young men discipline at this age. You don't want it because it carries over to the collegiate and the professional levels we see here on Sunday. It gets out of hand at times.
Like you said, not a big hit, but the fact that he kept carrying it so far out of bounds. First and goal just outside the 10. Give is up the middle, driving to the end zone. Dominic Bongiorno and the Bulldogs take the 11-point lead.
Now, what do you say when you're leaving the backfield to the end zone? Bongiorno. Here you go. This is the off-the-jet fake. They're just going to run it inside. And look at the wall. We'll get another look at this. A great job by the left side of the line and the center. They're going to wall this off. Both of them come down inside. And look at the seam coming right at you into your living room. You can see we got bodies. You got red shirts 6 yards down the field matching up against the white shirts. That's well executed.
Barrett Brunke leading the way, pulling guard. And he opened up a huge hole as Zach Nyes bangs it through, and the Romeo Bulldogs, who were going to go on defense to start the second half instead, recovered the onside kick and take it right in, a 48-yard touchdown drive. Bongiorno ends up capping the drive with his 10-yard touchdown run.
There's a Coach Reines, and what a call. I'm not sure if he made or Coach Couch, but to start the second half, and as we discussed, Dan, it was a logical play, because you're giving them the 40-45-yard line anyway, so why not try to onside kick? I might do it again. I might do it every time from here on out. If you're not going to kick it deep, you can just try to kick it 20 yards and then return it for 15. But what a turn event. And that's what you have to do, though. You make a play and you make them pay. You get the onside kick, you convert
You
it
have
into
to go
points.
down and
Yes.
score.
Yes.
And they absolutely did. Well, it'll be interesting to see how Cass Tech defends this. They had 5 up front, but they were backing up, and there were some gaps, and Zach Nyes just put it right in between 2 of those 5 men who were up front and recovered his own onside kick, which you don't see very often. And it looks like pretty much the same alignment.
Well, yeah,
there still
you're
is
looking
that
right
gap.
in between here. There's still a lot of room. Now, obviously the 2 Cass Tech defenders up front are going to run out as quick. They're going to make sure it's kicked deep before they come up.
It's just another squibber, takes a very favorable bounce for the Bulldogs. Donovan Peoples-Jones fields it, going to try to make something happen, and he does. Breaks out of a tackle, and down the left sideline, stays in bounds, falls forward, and once again,
might as well onside kicked.
And the result is the same, possession outside their own 40-yard line to start a drive.
Wow, when he gets going,
can
he's like
see.
he's shot out of a cannon. Watch when he turns it on to the weak side. There's nothing there. He breaks one tackle. Another tackle goes by him. Humberto Flores trying to chase him down. If his own man doesn't get a tackle, he might still be running.
If he doesn't get hit by his own man, I think he's got another 15 yards.
Man, that must be fun to play a game like football and be faster than everyone on the field. I never knew that.
Donovan Peoples-Jones, we talked about him at halftime. Quiet in the first half. He's the man at the top of your screen, split wide to the left. Jackson will keep, and nothing there. Mitch Heimbach has had a tough day offensively, but boy, has he been a force defensively.
Well, when you're going to defend the zone read, it's right here. You're going to come here. You got to get someone on the dive back, and then bring someone on the quarterback. And here it is. We're going to look. You see the dive back taken care of. Boom. Now the quarterback goes outside. Heimbach is there. You also have the corner coming off the edge. Here's another look. Dives taken care of. Heimbach gets off the block. He's there. So is Brad Tanner coming off the edge. That's well defended.
Boy, he's been in the backfield a lot today, talking about Mitch Heimbach. 112 tackles for the season, two-way player. Jackson, a little underneath wide receiver screen to Donovan Peoples-Jones, and not a whole lot there. He basically gets back to the original line of scrimmage. That's the play they're looking to break big, and it only gained a few yards.
Slip screen. He's going to come right back inside. You see the linemen going out to get their blocks. And if a little bit better job, they actually ran by the first Romeo defender, Joseph Myers was there. If one of those big guys gets a body on him, that play might really go. But Myers made Peoples-Jones change his path, which allowed his teammates to make the play.
Only 6 yards a carry today, or 6 yards per reception today, averaged 22, and over 1,000 yards during the rest of the season in 13 games. Toss right side on 3rd and 10. That's Sean Hodges made one man miss, but here come the Bulldogs swarming, and it'll be 4th down for the technicians. Andrew Smith leading that charge defensively to make sure the gain was a short one.
Yeah, did you ever play any soccer, Dan, as a kid? I never played, but my kids all play when they're young. It's kind of like that. When you have these athletes on space, you got to come up, you got to square them up, not let them go around. You don't have to necessarily make the tackle, but you have to slow things down to allow your defensive teammates to come up and help make the play, corral them. And Thomas Wilcher scratching his head a little bit, thinking, not much is working offensively. But there'll be no panic. They've been behind before. They have the ability to come back with the weapons they have. You got to watch a fake here. If you're Romeo, you're midfield, 4th down and 6. They might get a delay, though, if they don't get this off.
And there will be a delay call.
You know what that does, though, Dan, is by that extra 5 yards puts you in a 4th and 11. It really takes the fake out of play. Because now you have 4th and 11 near midfield. Not as attractive as a coach to call a fake.
MHSAA.tv will have live streaming coverage of the post-game press conferences from this game. Plus, you're going to find highlights and archive of all of the weekend's championship games. Get bonus coverage of the football finals at MHSAA.tv. Albert Pace back to punt. Tanner standing at his own 20-yard line, ready to receive the punt, and that one is blocked. Picked up by the Bulldogs. Down to the 20-yard line. A blocked punt. 2 big plays for turnovers here in the second half. Josh Varelin with the block.
Well, this is a low snap, short hop, but the pressure, and look at big number 60. He blocks that with his thigh. Verellen's able to get in there, and the good hop picked up, and Romeo cooking with oil again on the short field. Going to start on the 20-yard line, and everything's going right for the Bulldogs since they come out of the locker room to start the second half.
Anthony Quaz to the 18-yard return. And now Romeo working on a short field again. At the Castech 20-yard line already with a 12-point lead. Paul Hurley out of the shotgun for Romeo. Castech has had a very tough time stopping this offense today. Looking to throw, he's going to pull it down and run. And he's got some running room on the left side. Hurley inside the 10, runs this for the end zone. Touchdown, Romeo! 20-yard touchdown run for the quarterback, Paul Hurley.
Well, we've seen Paul Hurley throw the ball with great accuracy. Now we're going to get a chance to run the ball. And Romeo does something a little bit different. You're going to see, they spread out Castech. They got 3 receivers left. They got Brad Tanner out to the right, and it pulls the defense. They had 11 in the box, no longer. Now, when nothing's there, there's no one in the middle of the field. And that's what man coverage does, Dan. Everyone runs deep, so all the defenders are running with them with their backs to the ball. And before they realize what's happening, Hurley's already 10 yards down the field. Now they're trying to turn and react and make a play. But Paul Hurley doing a great job getting into the end zone.
Extra point is up and good. And the Romeo Bulldogs have come out hot to start the second half. And their lead is now 19 points after the touchdown run from Hurley.
I want to take a look at Menards. Brings you the big money moments. It starts with the onside kick right out of the gate to start the second half. The fumble recovered by Zach Nyes, and they get right back. They finish the drive, getting Bongiorno the ball inside, and then the block by Verellen coming through, and Quaz picks it up, and it allows Romeo to work with a short field. So they already have one touchdown in the bank, and then Paul Hurley. With everyone run off in man, he picks up a great block down the field by number 21, Brad Tanner, which gives him the lane to get into the end zone. So what a start for the Bulldogs. But that being said, a lot of happy faces on the Bulldog side. We saw yesterday with Martin Luther King, a team that resembles in the sense that they have the big weapons outside. They can score quickly. We saw how they came back on a Lowell team that was dominating them. But when you have like a Donnie Corley, as King did, or a Donovan Peoples-Jones, you always have that chance to come back.
The little pooch punt will be fielded by Donovan Peoples-Jones. Made a one-man miss, gets across the 40. I think every drive today has started between the 40 and 50 for Castech. But going back to yesterday real quickly, there were deficits of 17 and 18 points at different times for King. And I think you're right, Castech still explosive. They just haven't shown it a lot so far today.
And I think Romeo might be a little bit faster defensively with all 11 and outside. Lowell had some really nice players, but they didn't have a Brad Tanner in the corner. And we're talking about not getting the ball to Donovan Peoples-Jones, but you heard me talk to Coach as he was heading out. They have a lot of confidence that 21 could slow down number 9 in white.
First down from the 46. Jackson out of the shotgun. Hands off to the man in motion, Sean Hodges, but look at the Bulldogs defense. led by Brian Carey and Jacob Herndon. Nothing on the carry for Hodges.
You know, I'm a little surprised. Look at this. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let it go. People in the box. I'm going to run between the tackles right now, but they keep trying to run the edge, and there's 3 red jerseys waiting outside at any wide play. You see Heimbach right there ready to make the play.
You think Tim Cheatham could take
yeah,
advantage.
or even have Aaron Jackson keep it. Fake the jet and just have him run it straight up the middle. Now there's only really 4 in the box for Romeo.
I'm surprised they have it more often. Slant cut to Peoples-Jones. He had him open, but led him just a little bit too far. Ryan Medley applying the pressure for Romeo.
A little bit too far, but you got to make this catch, and you're going to see Medley coming from the outside, really coming quickly and applying the hit. But if I'm Aaron Jackson, the quarterback, I'm telling Peoples-Jones, I'll throw to you now, but you got to go and get that one. Don't give me those short arms coming across the middle. You got to stretch out and make that play.
3rd and 10 for Cass Tech, a big possession now that they are down 19 points. Jackson underneath screen to Peoples-Jones. He's fighting his way through traffic, but he's going to come up far short of the first down. Mitch Heimbach again in on a stop for Romeo.
Well, they're going to just try to bring Peoples-Jones in here and run a middle screen with him and let it go. He does that little stutter outside. He comes back in, but Romeo they run to the ball so well, all 11 guys. So when Peoples-Jones makes the first guy miss, the second guy's there to clean up the mess.
Some frustration, you can see it on the face of Donovan Peoples-Jones. Brad Tanner is deep. Albert Pace will punt it away. And the flag flies again. It's going to be a false start.
False start.
False start.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Go 4th down.
5-yard penalty.
And once again, this is like deja vu all over again. Remember last time, Dan, they had 4th and 5. You think in midfield, they maybe think about running a fake punt. Well, they get a penalty delay last time. Well, this time they get a procedure. Now you're 4th and 10. It kind of takes that out of the coach's thought process.
Because this is a team that absolutely could fake it on 4th and 5. Now it's 4th and 10. Tanner deep. Fields it at the 20 and takes a big hit. Good coverage that time by the technicians. Savalas Morgan down to make the stop for Cass Tech. Tanner just wants to make a play at all times.
Sometimes it's ill-advised. I think I might have made the fair catch on that one.
In talking with co-head coach Jason Coach about his quarterback Paul Hurley earlier in the week, Rob, it was pretty neat. He said, we're having our banquet tonight. He said, I got a little choked up just thinking about our 3 years together. And he said, just as a person, there is none better than Paul Hurley. He said, my son, who's 11 years old, tried to figure out a Halloween costume. He said, Dad, can I go as Paul Hurley? That's the kind of kid he is. And Paul Hurley said, of course. He said, ask Paul. He said, of course you can.
That's funny. I tell you what, that's one of the best compliments you could give a young man in high school when a young boy like that wants to be him as Halloween. It shows him how much he respects and admires Paul Hurley. You know, his numbers aren't going to look great, but let's not forget, I think he's had 3 drop balls, and those 3 plays, if they're caught, are going to be 60 to 70 yards of chunk yardage easily, and maybe a touchdown in there, so you can add those in, and that's why numbers can lie. But right now, the only number Romeo's concerned about is that clock ticking behind them. They need to kind of Pac-Man that, chew it down, and make this a short game.
Gain of 1 on first down, Hurley under center. He gives to Bongiorno, and nothing there. 18-point lead for Romeo against a very tough Cass Tech team who has won 2 state titles in the last 4 years. 2011, 2012, they're trying for a 3rd, but it's an uphill climb because we're counting down toward the end of the 3rd quarter. When King had their big deficits in the Division II game yesterday, their offense really started to click at the end of the first half and carried right through to the end of the game. But right now, Cass Tech is not able to move the ball on these Bulldogs.
Well, Romeo's 5 of 7 on 3rd down conversions, but this is one of the longer ones that they've faced.
3rd and 9. Hurley out of the shotgun. has time. Throw is picked off. Right outside the 20-yard line. Lead Jordan with the pickoff on the deflection. And Cass Tech, maybe the big turnover they've been looking for. They are now deep in Romeo territory.
Well, right now we're going to find a little bit of the character of this Bulldog defense. How do you respond to sudden change? You got a 3rd down and 9. As I said, not a lot of long 3rd down to go situations, but this time just a really nice play. Tips the ball, to himself, comes back and makes the catch. And Cleve Jordan had the good kick return we saw early in the game. And that time that outstanding linebacker makes a good job of tipping to himself and giving Cass Tech a short field.
What a great reaction after the tip to pull it in. 4 wideouts for quarterback Aaron Jackson, the sophomore. Throws into the end zone, and the ball is knocked away. Great defense intended for People Jones, and look who's on the coverage, Brad Tanner.
You know, people thought I was crazy when I was talking about this young man. I said, I think he can run with him. I think he can hang with him. He may not have the top end 100 speed of a Peoples Jones, but they're playing quarters, which means he just has to defend the deep quarter of the field. And even though he's a little bit smaller, just maybe a hair over 6 feet, he's up there competing. That's an athlete.
Great look on the replay.
You can see they're playing quarters. Yeah, look at, let me get off the screen here.
The give is to Cheatham, and there's very little in the way of room. But Rob, I think your point about running to the edges is a good one. It looks like there's some opportunities between the tackles, and they're not using those opportunities.
No, they're not.
Doesn't look like.
They're trying to get everything on the edge, and then they're throwing the ball down the field, which I think you need to take your shots. You have big, tall, athletic receivers. Give them a chance to make a play. They did. They didn't win that battle. But in the running game, I just think, Dan, the same as you do. Sometimes Romeo only has like 4, maybe 5 in the box, where you have 5 offensive linemen. I like those numbers. Yeah. I think you get a helmet on a helmet. Even you want to run a little trap inside. That just shows you that we highlighted this big offensive line, although right now the little minions in the red are winning.
Been a fascinating matchup up front, and right now the Bulldogs' defensive line, small as it is, quick, has done a lot of damage. And they've been able to contain the high-powered Tech offense. Timeout call by the technicians. Important possession for them near the end of the third quarter, trailing by 19. Late in the third quarter, Cass Tech's offense has been held off the board in the second half. This is a huge possession for the technicians. Thomas Wiltshire, the head coach, calling the timeout.
Dan, we got a little different coverage. You look up at the top. We have no help over the top for Brad Tanner.
Looks like a little confusion coming out of the timeout.
They're playing some man. They're manning up. This is risky.
Lob into the end zone and caught! Touchdown! Demetric Vance on a perfect throw from Aaron Jackson and a huge touchdown, 17 yards for the technicians.
Well, I knew coming out, you got man here, man here, man here. And if I'm a quarterback, I'm either going up the top here, over the top that way. Let it run. And Demetric Vance is manned up outside. and Andrew Smith just can't run with him. That's a well-thrown ball by Aaron Jackson. So coming out of the break, a little bit surprised. They've had a lot of success playing quarters. That time they came out and played man, and they kind of bit them.
Down 19. Now down 13. So the extra point here can make it a 12-point game. And again, the flags fly before the ball is snapped.
Flag on the play.
Illegal substitution on the defense. 12 men on the field, still fourth out.
That's going to change the thought process maybe of Thomas Wilchard. Instead of just going for one, now you're only going for a yard and a half, go for two. You see substitutions coming on the field.
That puts you to within 11 points, touchdown, and a 2-point conversion plus a field goal, so it wouldn't have to be 2 touchdowns.
Aztec will move for 2.
I'm got a feeling that we're not going to see Romeo play much man anymore. I'm just going to throw that out there. I think maybe, Coach Reines felt with a shorter field to defend, they might be okay.
The give and good defense again by the Bulldogs as Donovan Johnson, who has 2 touchdown carries today, is stopped shy of the goal line. Cade Messner comes up to make the stop.
Well, this is all about recognition. How quick can you read the play? Messner's going to come from your left, from the safety position, and he's able to defeat the block early on, get penetration into the backfield. He's going to come flying up from the top of your screen. Johnson forced to bubble a little bit because good penetration by Joe Myers, and then Messner just does the rest. That's the way to come up. If you're gonna try to fill, you got to fill quickly and fill with being very aggressive, and that's what they did on that one.
That's a look at Alvin Clemens, the center for Cass Tech, and he talked earlier about the great tradition at his school.
The teams before us, they showed us the way. Since I've been here, it's been the semifinals. We made it to semifinals, the state championship. All the work we put in since January, like I said, it feel good to be back.
Alvin Clemens, you could see the frustration coming off the field. It has been fascinating to watch that small, quick defensive line for the Bulldogs and the way they're beating their blocks time after time, Rob, to get penetration into the backfield.
Yeah, and we talked before the game, and we talked about how disruptive they can be, and you can see this technician's offense. Their 2 touchdowns came on short fields, a 24 and a 21-yard scoring drive. But I told you, Dan, every now and then they might get pushed out of the way when they get a body on them, but more times than not, they're getting into gaps, they're getting penetration, and they just kill drives with negative plays, with 2-3-yard losses.
The boot by Albert Pace, and that will die right at the sidelines and then trickle out of bounds. And that means a starting spot at the 35-yard line for the Romeo Bulldogs, and now the technicians will lean on their defense to come up with a stop. They have been a very tough time stopping the Bulldogs today, and the Bulldogs have been working with a short field here in the second half. Cass Tech's defense this year only gave up 15 points a game. Last year they had a very tough time stopping Canton in the snow, giving up 41 points and almost 400 yards on the ground, and they need to find a way to stop Romeo here. Trailing by 13 as we head toward the end of the third quarter. Hurley under center on first down from the 35. Give is right up the middle, a little counter. Humberto Flores had some big runs in the snow last week. Nothing there. He has not really been a factor, but we still find him fascinating for the fact that he's a nose guard and a tailback. At 5'7", 160. Hurley gets the play from the sidelines and brings it in. 2nd and 10. No gain on first down. Bulldogs have racked up the yardage throughout the day today, approaching 400 yards of total offense, with still over 13 minutes of football left. Hurley will step up again. And he can't make anybody miss, as this time he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage and gain maybe a yard, setting up 3rd and long from the 36.
Well, last time Romeo was put in a position of 3rd and long, they threw Hurley threw the interception. So you have to wonder if your Coach Couch calling the plays right now. You're telling your quarterback, hey, I'll call another play down the field, but you have to protect the football. You have to be sure with your throw that only we have a chance to get the reception, because you do not want to turn the ball over. You want to live to fight another day here.
5 of 8 on 3rd downs for the Bulldogs today. Last 3rd down was the interception that led to the Cass touchdown. 3rd and 9. Man in motion is Tanner. Hurley facing pressure, will roll right. Throws shy of the first down marker. It's a completion. But Nathan Goralski will haul it in about 4 yards shy of the first down marker. And Romeo's going to have to punt.
Yeah, they're going to have to punt. This is also going to take us to the 4th quarter. Hurley doing a good job. We talked about making a throw that's safe, and he does this time. As you can see, Goralski just curling outside. Doesn't get the first down, but it's going to keep the clock going. It's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter.
Now they let the clock run. They're not showing the punt formation, but you've got to believe they're just going to let the clock run out. And they will. We've reached the end of the 3rd quarter at Ford Field in the Division I State Championship game. You like offense? Stick around. We've seen a lot of it through 3 quarters here today. Romeo with the ball, but it looks like Cass Tech is getting it back when we come back for the 4th quarter.
It should have started at the end of last season. Please, you have to believe in your players, then they will believe in you. You too can create a masterpiece. It's time. Let the big dogs eat on Fox Sports Detroit. You need commitment. It should have started at the end of last season. Please, you have to believe in your players, then they will believe in you. You too can create a masterpiece. It's time. Let the big dogs eat on Fox Sports Detroit.
Oh, yes, the 4th quarter. You love this time.
Okay, now, I think they're going to call false start. I thought Cass Tech jumped in the neutral zone first.
At the snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Well, you're going to see who moves first. Does the offensive lineman move first? We get a good look here. Pretty much simultaneous.
Yeah.
That way I would call the offense on. So that's a good call by the official.
4th and 10. They are not going to punt the ball, at least. Nope. They are going to punt the ball.
Oh, that's smart. That's a great play because you don't give Donovan Peoples-Jones a chance to set up back there.
Peoples-Jones with a 36-yard return. His last time, Lucas Shimon on the punt. Nobody back. Good roll. It ends up being a 50-yard punt.
Here's what they were after. See all those people in there, Dan? Count them. That would be 0. And that's what they were looking for. No one on the deep end. Now, a little bit risky. You do the shovel pass. You tell your offensive line, you've got to protect. I mean, you have to go, heel to heel, get right together, not anyone get into a gap and block that. End up paying off. Coach Reines, they've got to be pleased. His defense now is defending a much longer field.
First and 10.
Aztecs' average start today has been amazing. Right out to the 47. That's been their average starting position before this drive.
Almost 2 first downs Romeo's been giving up in field position.
Quick toss right side. Hodges gets it across the 20-yard line. Good pickup on first down before Ryan Medley brings him down.
Well, once again, they're just going to run Hodges here, and it's all about this block. Let it go. Can you get the block at the point of attack? They leak Hodges, and a good job in space by Dwight Blakely making that block. Also, Peoples-Jones out there working, Brad Tanner looking for a holding call, but if you're going to be a receiver out there in these spread type of offenses, you better be willing to block too, because you're not always going to be the one catching the ball.
Starting the fourth quarter, Aztec down by 13, explosive offense. It's been somewhat quiet today, including that guy, Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's going to be stopped shy of the first down marker. The Bulldogs have been just superb, led by Brad Tanner in the coverage on Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, he's done an outstanding job. And I guarantee all the Romeo people are sitting down there just holding their breath because they know what 9 is capable of. They know how he can get behind pretty much not only Brad Tanner, but anyone in this country with that type of athleticism.
The give will be right up the middle on 3rd and 1, and Donovan Johnson bangs his way for a first down out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Helmet flies off. It's a little bit shaken up, but it appears to be okay. Well, trainer's going to come out. Looking at his left hand, it looked like, after the play.
Get another look here on replay, Dan. Let's see what happens. Donovan Johnson goes down. I don't see anything to his hand.
I think he lost a contact or something in his eye because they started to work on his. Nope, bloody nose. Okay. So the bloody nose takes Donovan Johnson out of the game.
Isn't that to be expected in a prize fight like this? I mean, this has been a battle. You got to get a little blood out there. It's been a very physical game, a very skilled game as well.
Aaron Jackson is leading this offense. His first start for this team was last week. After Rodney Hall injured, he had surgery to repair a broken bone in his foot. And Aaron Jackson has stepped in and done a very good job replacing one of the best players in the state. Quick toss. Edric Vance, not much there. He caught the touchdown pass, but Anthony Quaz made sure that this play didn't go anywhere.
Well, Quaz did a nice job of forcing the ball carry outside. And then also, as you can see here, in a space like this, you can't do this alone. Quaz forces him outside, but he's getting help from Andrew Smith. And Quaz gets the ankle, Smith goes up high, so good job, and that's what you have to do. Gang tackle, corral these speedy receivers, and use your teammates to get them down.
Tech has tried to get the ball to receivers many different ways today. Cheatham on the carry, spins out of one tackle, gains a few, but it'll be a gain of about 4, setting up 3rd and 6. Well, they've really tried different things. They've tried the underneath screens. They've tried the quick tosses to try to get their skilled guys in open field. They tried to go downfield. Not a whole lot has worked in the passing game today.
No, it really hasn't, but that's where you really miss Rodney Hall, your outstanding quarterback. You have a young guy in Aaron Jackson, and you can see only 47 yards in the rushing game. And this is a team that puts up big numbers in the course of the season. But that being said, Aaron Jackson, only a sophomore, he has the ability.
Quick toss again, right side, caught by Hodges, And he makes one man miss across the 50 before he's hauled down across midfield. Did a good job on the low throw to grab it without going down to a knee, and that's a huge play on third down for Cass Tech.
Yeah, this ball is thrown low, and Hodges goes down. Does not, as you called, Dan, you have eyes like an eagle. I knew that when you're reading those reads earlier on. Chucky was holding about 10 feet away, and you could see the small print. I thought he took a knee, but what an outstanding job once again by the officials. Really, this officiating crew's had a really solid game.
You see Shimon on the sidelines now, big offensive threat and also defensively holding his arm again. It was an injury that took him out earlier in the game as well. Jackson back to throw. Again, it's a short toss right intended for Hodges. But these are the kinds of throws the Bulldogs have kind of forced Cass Tech into. Short throws, underneath throws. The touchdown pass was a beauty. But you really expect Aaron Jackson to go deep again as Shimon comes back on the field. Fine two-way player for the Romeo Bulldogs.
Let's look at the coverage. You're getting a let's look at right here. Looks like they're going to be playing quarters, which means all four of these guys have the deep quarters, and these fellas here are going to play the zones underneath. And that's out of respect for this guy right up there.
Donovan People-Jones, average 22 yards a catch, 1,000 yards in the regular season. Quiet today. Handoff in the backfield, and there the Bulldogs are again. The penetration has been so impressive this time. Humberto Flores drags down Tim Cheatham in the backfield. Another tackle for a loss.
Watch this dude. Look at him. He looks like the lunch for some of these guys. That's how small he is. But he's got that type of quickness to get in the backfield. He is a whirling dervish. Coach could sing nothing but his praises. We've talked with these guys. He's one of the smallest guys on our team. He has a motor, and he says, don't underestimate how good a football player he is, because he plays with technique for as small as he is.
Went by a guy who's 325 and a guy who's 285. 3rd and 14. Donovan Peoples-Jones on the quick toss right side. Makes one man miss and gets right to the first down marker. He's got a first down. Cade Messner brings him down, but a gain of 15 on 3rd and 14.
Well, Peoples-Jones is going to be in the slot. He just works out, or comes back inside rather, and then that's just speed. It's good burst into the seam. You know what? And I know he's probably telling Coach, you got to get me the ball more, but I agree with him. Usually I'm saying don't, just do your job, but number 9's a special talent.
Just get it in his hands.
You've got to get him the ball.
4 wideouts again for Aaron Jackson. Approaching the midway point of the 4th quarter. Down 13. Long throw down the right sideline. Peoples-Jones has it. Touchdown! Perfect throw from Aaron Jackson to Peoples-Jones, and Cass Tech has pulled to within 7.
And Brad Tanner is going to be victimized here. Watch, it's going to be a double move. A little stop, stutter, and go. You got to grab. Now, you're playing quarters if you're Brad Tanner. You got to let him catch it in front of you, but you can't let him get behind you in that situation.
What a great move by Peoples-Jones, because Tanner has done an excellent job defensively against him all day long. He's not been able to break free of Tanner. And he did that time with the move. Now Albert Pace on for an extra point. They could get Cass Tech to within 6. Extra point up and good. The old style straight on kick. And we've got a game. Technicians were down 19, now down 6 midway through the 4th quarter. Aaron Jackson just made a perfect throw to Donovan Jones. And there's a look.
Yeah, for all you Division I coaches out there, he's a junior. So you have that to look forward to the new year.
Keep forgetting he's not a senior.
I think he should come out early for be eligible for the draft. Let colleges take him.
You had just said, whatever it takes, get the ball in his hands. And the very next throw was perfect for the touchdown. Short little pooch kick is going to drop on the ground. Ball's loose. But the Bulldogs get on it. That's Nathan Goralski.
All right, drive of the game if you're the Romeo Bulldogs. You're going to coach, you're going to be a play caller. This is a time to bring out the best that you have. Because if you turn that ball over right now and have to punt it back to this technicians team, they're rolling, they're feeling, they're playing confident right now.
They really are.
So maybe use that aggressiveness against them because they're going to be coming off the ball very hard here. You had some success in the screen game in the first half. Maybe the counter play we haven't really seen him go back to that counter run that we saw Shimon get about 8 or 10 yards early on in the game.
They've been able to break Mitch Heimbach free. Do you think?
Look at this. I don't think I've ever seen a play where there's 11 people that close to the line of scrimmage.
Tim Walton, the tackle on Brad Tanner. Yeah, they're going to dare him to throw right here, aren't they?
Yeah. I think you have to do some type of, now on second down, not as much of a deceptive play to go play action. If you'd done that on first down, you might have had everyone and their brother biting up to the line of scrimmage and leaked someone behind that 11.
Kowalski into the game. Bongiorno out. Empty backfield for the quarterback, Paul Hurley. Critical drive for Romeo as Castech has erased most of a 19-point deficit to close to within 6. The motion, you could see motion before the snap.
Yeah, the wheels
back Romeo up.
Over the snap, ball start, offense, 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
The wheels are kind of coming off the cart for this Bulldog offense right now. This Castech defense has tightened up here in the second half, especially here in the fourth quarter. That 10 yards is a difficult task. Now you're going to have to be able to pick up 15 yards in this drive to move the chains.
6 penalty today on the Bulldogs. Technicians only whistled for 4. Second and 13. Empty backfield again for Paul Hurley. Pressure coming. Screen right up the middle. And keeping the legs going, Mitchell Heimbach. It's got to be a good feeling for him after a couple of drops. They need to get him back into this offense, Rob.
It is. It's a good feeling for him and the coaching staff that they gives him one more weapon. He's going to be lining up right in here. He's going to just pass block and then watch him leak right to the middle of the field. He sets up, spins out, and there he comes back, allows his lineman to get in front of him. So a good job, well-designed play. It gives you an opportunity after taking that 5-yard penalty to possibly pick up the first down, which would be huge here with 5:37 and counting. Now Castech's going to roll the look at man coverage up top. They're going to leave 10 in the box.
3rd and 1. Big play. Bulldogs hand it off and they've got the first down. Dominic Bongiorno bangs across that 35-yard line to pick up the first down and move the chains. Castech has burned 1 of their 3 timeouts here in the second half.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of Dominic here today, but it's all up to these guys. Can they create a crease in here somewhere for Dominic Bongiorno just to pick up a yard? It's helmet on helmet. A good job. Really nice play coming down by Teron Young. Almost gets Bongiorno before he could get the first down.
First down and a big one for Romeo. A couple of more, and the technicians might have to start using their timeouts. Lucas Shimon thrown to the turf. Carry on first down, stays in bounds though, but nothing on the ground as Demetric Vance came up to make the play. Vance has a touchdown catch in this game. Fine play there to shut that play down.
Okay, we're going to run this, and then we're going to stop it. Let it go. We're going to see the jet come to the left. Now run it. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Now right here, stop. I think there was a crease inside. We've seen Brad Tanner plant that foot, Dan, like we said, plant that tent stake, and then cut it up. That time, Lucas Shimon didn't see the lane, and Castech was able to defend it.
2nd and 10.
Oh, he's got Heimbach. He's got Heimbach.
Has a man. Heimbach makes the catch at a first down over the 45-yard line. They got Heimbach free again, and this time Heimbach hangs on.
Sorry, Dan, I'll take the tread marks off your back because I just stomped on your call, but I'm sitting there watching as a former tight end. I'm watching Heimbach thinking, they got him in on that screen. They need to keep using him, and they just leak him all the way from the right, all the way across the field, and Paul Hurley finally sees him, and he's dropped a couple easy ones, and that's a difficult catch. He's running to his right. He goes all the way back, opens his hips, shows those loose hips, makes the catch. Cass Tech right now, they're bringing it, they're being aggressive. If you're a technician now, you've got to step up and make a play.
Cass Tech needing a stop. Romeo trying to run clock. Give is right up the middle, and look at the tough running by the little guy, Humberto Flores, little guy with a big heart, and he is tough. We've seen that all day long on the defensive line, and on that carry right there, that's a big 5-yard pickup on first down.
Thomas Wiltshire, one of the things as a head coach, you got to be the clock manager. You are the boss. You decide when we're going to use our timeouts. They had to burn one early on in the third quarter, so they're down to 2 timeouts. One more first down, and it's going to get a little bit sketchy, but we saw what can happen. We saw Martin Luther King come back with 30 seconds.
All hope was
70
lost.
yards away,
97 yards in 37 seconds.
Delay?
Yep, came from the back judge.
Wow, you can't allow that to happen.
Delay game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
You just, that's tough. You got to keep your eye. If you're a quarterback, when you're trying to eat clock, your biggest focus when you come to line of scrimmage is that back judge. We can maybe get a shot at him. He stands back there, and he's going to put his hand straight in the air at 10, Dan. He'll wave it up in his 10 left, and when he starts kind of chopping out to the side,
then he's counting.
That means they're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a good look right there. And that hand comes up in the air.
Second and 10. Hurley back to throw. Facing some pressure, but he's got Heimbach again in the left flat. Banged out of bounds, but now Heimbach is coming up big when they need him the most here in the fourth quarter.
Well, memo to Thomas Wiltshire right now. Coach, they got a tight end, and he's pretty good. I know he dropped a couple in the first half. He's just going to run this underneath coverage. And just no confusion. You just see a misassignment. It may have been man coverage by Jalen Kelly Powell, and he kind of gets picked a little bit by his own teammate who's coming across in coverage playing man as well.
22-yard gain, the 7th play today that has gained at least 20 yards for the Bulldogs.
Now let's keep an eye on that back judge, because when you're going to try to milk that clock.
It's all about the clock right now. First down carry. There's absolutely nothing there on first down, but it's all about the clock right now. That's Bongiorno back in the game.
Right. You know what? That was on that last one. I'm thinking you got to look at that back judge, but you don't, because the Heimbach went out of bounds, and Heimbach ran out of bounds and stops the clock. But it's running now, and you wonder, Thomas Wiltshire. Look at Hurley coming off, and let's see if he locates that back judge. That's who he needs to see. That's a great look right here. The quarterback.
So if you're Hurley,
you just stand there. You just kind of stand there. There's the hands up now. And he starts chopping at 5.
Little misdirection, but the give is up the middle. The result is the same. Nothing there for Dominic Bongiorno, the senior fullback. Tim Walton comes up to close that hole in a hurry, and the timeout taken by Cass Tech. 2 minutes to go. A 6-point lead for Romeo in the Division I state championship game.
Workout, Richburg last showed
Romeo Bulldogs facing 3rd and 10. Rob, let's think this through. 3rd and 10. Cass Tech can stop it one more time. A run here, they stop the clock, then they're facing, say, 4th and long again. Do you put the ball up in the air right here if you're Romeo?
Yes, I do. And the reason is Cass Tech does not need a minute and a half, a minute 40 to score. They can go down the field in 25, 30 seconds. I want to have the ball in my hand at the end of this game.
Hurley, right side, has a man and a first down. Huge play. And again, it's Mitchell Heimbach with the catch. No, this time it's John Hobeck. 13-yard gain. First down for Romeo.
All right, Hobeck's going to be wide. He's going to what we call a comeback. He's going to drive, then snap it to the outside. Let it go. The thing that makes this play successful is you have to have protection. They roll the pocket, and look at Hurley spinning. He just threw a dime outside, putting only where Hobeck could get it, rather, and made a great catch, moves the chains, and now you have the opportunity to have the ball in your hands here and really, really give the technicians only a few seconds offensively.
They give it to the man in motion, Tanner. He's going to cut it up inside the 10, into the end zone! Brad Tanner with a touchdown run, and the Bulldogs have just put it away! Third touchdown of the day for Tanner.
You know, we talked on Shamone's last run. When you're running that jet, and it's a zone jet play, you have to find the crease. Brad Tanner has a knack for finding that crease, planting his foot, getting north and south, and he's just an athlete. We're going to watch. He's just going to stretch it to the right. He's going to get it. He's going to stretch it out, plant it. Now you get up into that crease, and then you just show that you're a pretty dang good high school football player. And the fact that Ferris State is really the only university that's offered this young man is beyond me. I think, and I work with Matt Shepard, and we'll be calling next game. I think he's a Division I. I think he's a Mid-American Conference star.
Boy, everything we've seen today would certainly indicate that, Rob. What a pleasure it's been to watch him. Hurley rolls for the two-point conversion, throws, and he's got Heimbach for the two-point conversion. Well, you feel really good for that young man. He's a big part of this offense. He had a couple of drops that looked like they might be critical. He had 4 catches on this drive, including the two-point conversion.
Yeah, Mitch Heimbach, as you said, early in the game, a couple drops, which was so out of character for him. You know, I've watched him for the past few games make play after play, but coaches, you get confidence with players, and they get confidence with you over the course of the season. You can see right here, a small window, Paul Hurley, really the best I've seen this young man throw the ball, and Cass Tech, to their credit, I mean, that's good coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do? You're right there to make a play. You know, Dimitri Vance was there. It's just the ball is put exactly where only your tight end could catch it. Pretty good numbers there by Brad Tanner.
Here's this touchdown drive.
Well, and it started with some good play calling, some aggressive play calling, dragging the tight end, getting Heimbach involved, and then you come back and you throw just a beautiful ball outside that Hubeck, and then Brad Tanner is going to do the rest. As we saw him do early in the game, he's finishing the game the way he started, Dan.
He just won't go down in the open field, will he?
Nope.
We saw that first touchdown run, same thing. Terrific moves, great balance.
I think his phone's going to ring next week. I think there's got to be some universities in the Mid-American Conference from Bowling Green up to Eastern Michigan that might be looking at this kid thinking, maybe we missed on this one.
Kick goes deep to Donovan Johnson. Donovan Johnson trying to make something happen, but he's going backwards. Now he reverses and finds a little bit of room, but a flag flies. And this one probably, after a lot of hard work by Donovan Johnson, will be coming back. Well, you look at Tanner, 6'2", 180 pounds, with the ability that we've seen on display here today, the fluidness with which he runs, the ability to stay on his feet, the balance. As you said, he floats.
Back in the back on the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
He floats. He can make people miss. I mean, he's got great vision. There are a lot of things to like about
Brad Tanner. And he makes plays when your team needs someone to make a play. If you need a kick return, when all of a sudden the other team's coming back, they close the gap, he gives you a kick return. The other team's driving the ball deep in your end, as we saw against CC this year, he makes an interception. He's a playmaker, and I don't know how to convince coaches sometimes that maybe he doesn't have the greatest measurables. Maybe he's not 6'4". Maybe he doesn't run a 4.4.
Right.
But he's a football player, Dan. He makes plays. And I don't know. Sometimes I think we get too enamored with numbers.
Yeah.
And
Can he play?
Chris Spielman, how are his numbers coming out? Not real good. He was a pretty good NFL player, though.
Pretty good.
Right.
Pretty good.
He was a second-round draft pick. That was a steal.
But that ability, the vision, repeatedly today, Tanner to make, and you just described it the last time they'd run that same play. And he saw that little crease and got into the end zone in a hurry.
And Coach Couch has called an outstanding game. To have the confidence in Paul Hurley, you sang his praises earlier, to throw a comeback, he'd been picked off. I mean, he got a pick earlier in the game that really turned the second half back to Cass Tech's favor.
Short toss right. That'll be just a couple of yards for Marcel Paul. Cass Tech has one timeout left, but they're down 2 scores with just a minute to go. They've not been able to get the ball downfield, I would say, consistently today. They have it a couple of times. A couple of touchdown throws, beautiful throws from Aaron Jackson. But I would think they're a little bit frustrated that haven't been able to get the ball downfield with more consistency today. Clock is running, and finally, Cass Tech snaps it. Short toss right, but that's a fine move by Donovan Johnson, but going to the middle of the field.
38 yards on the play. Pass complete.
Been a long road for Romeo and their co-head coaches, Jason Couch, Kurt Reines. 12 consecutive years in the playoffs for Romeo. This was the first time that Romeo had reached even as far as the regional finals. And they made it all the way to the state championship game this year, and this ball is going to be tipped away. Nice play defensively by Cade Messner. It looked like Dwight Blakely had gotten behind.
Well, they run the double, they fake the bubble, they try going up over the top, but playing cover 2, which means the safety has half. We're going to watch right here. He's responsible for back here. Let it go. And when they pump fake on the bubble screen, you see they release down the field and look at the ground. Messner covers. That's a well-coached team. Yep. He knew what his responsibility. He didn't get caught up in anything happening short. He knew he had to play deep, and he went there.
Looks like the whole town of Romeo is here today, and they are on their feet right below us here at Ford Field. Final 9 seconds of the Division I state championship game into the end zone, and this ball is going to be knocked away from People Jones. Brad Tanner is there, and now Cass Tech down to their final play. What a story for these Romeo Bulldogs. Again, 12 consecutive years in the postseason, and then everything clicked this year. They made major changes on the offensive side of the ball. They had a senior quarterback who had some weapons, and that senior quarterback, Paul Hurley, ran this offense to perfection with Brad Tanner. And it was an extremely impressive performance for this offense and defense today. Listen to this crowd. Last play of the game. Short toss, pressure applied, ball knocked away, and the Romeo Bulldogs have won their first ever state championship. Game plan executed to perfection today, Rob, on both sides of the ball.
Great game plan by the Bulldogs, and the players executed it. They came out, they were able to run the jet sweep. They wanted to stretch the Cass Tech defense to the edge a little bit, use your speed, and then come back inside, and then eventually incorporate your passing game using your fine quarterback, Paul Hurley, and getting Mitch Einbuck the ball on those crossing routes. Cass Tech just had no answer. And that's 41 points you just hung up on a really, really good football team.
Well, the co-coaches, Kurt Reines and Jason Couch, lead their team to the finals for the first time. That's Jason Couch embracing the young man he's had the pleasure of coaching the last 3 years. Paul Hurley, Romeo, Division I champions.
What's happening? Hey, good game. You too. Great game. Great game.
You got some looks?
Great game. Great job. Hey. Okay.
Where's Steve, man? It's not his fault. Come on, I just want to get.
The MHSAA Football Finals on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by Arby's. Try the new A1 Special Reserve Steak Sandwich today.
Romeo Bulldogs enjoying their first ever state championship. Football champions in Division I with a 41-27 win over Cass Tech. Our play of the game is brought to you by Toyota. And Rob, we go to the first play of the second half, the onside kick in a game that was only a 5-point game at that time. Romeo on top by 4.
Well, the play call was outstanding, but the execution was even better. To come out and have that type of confidence in your kicker to make that play, it just totally turned this game around. Because Cass Tech was building a little bit of momentum heading into the half. Well, anything they had, you took away right there with that play.
Onside kick led to a touchdown, and then they blocked the Cass Tech punt on Cass Tech's next possession. Those were momentum changers. And it was a heck of a start to the second half for the Romeo Bulldogs. Zach Nyes on the recovery. It was a heck of an afternoon of football. Two very impressive teams battling this afternoon, and Romeo comes away with a win. Once again, our final score, the Division I matchup, Romeo Bulldogs over the Cass Tech Technicians, 41-27. Rob Rubick and our entire Fox Sports Detroit crew, I'm Dan Dickerson saying so long from Ford Field.